From Chicago to Boston, Midwest to the East Coast, and this island in the Caribbean known as Puerto Rico is why the bars are lethal. Got me going beast mode in this game called life. You better know some cheat codes. Il Divino's back, someone let the streets know. 6 shots for the folks and 5 shots for my peoples. I think it's high time we all have a sit down. Can we all agree the game is gone to shit now? Like the fall of Rome, the death of Romulus, history repeating itself if you know it's obvious. If you had your head inside of a book instead of binoculars, you'd be able to see without a pair of binoculars. Our tax dollars being spent towards the damned omnibus, but the rich stay rich, commoners remain commoners. The tentacles and everything like a damn octopus. Mass media, mass hysteria, how they control the populace. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed in God we trust. Yet everyone lives in fear around me. The truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed in God we trust. Yeah, everyone lives in fear around me. The truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk. Living in this shy, I can't let them catch me snoozing. Dudes be shooting just for the amusement. I refuse to be a victim, never be a loser. When your city is a war zone, who gives a fuck about Putin? And there ain't nothing safe about the safety act. There's more safety in being strapped. They should choose you, shoot back. Those odds are better than getting caught laying on your back. Don't believe me, check the stats. I'm just bringing you the facts. With my hand on the Bible, I swear to rap the truth. My mighty God, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. My people perish for lack of knowledge. My knowledge I share with you. There's nothing we can't accomplish. One head ain't better than two. That's the purpose of a democratic republic. Discussion on every subject, in truth, logic, and reason, till we reach an agreement. A nation under God is how the states united. Got out of the picture, look how gradually we divided. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed in God we trust. Yet everyone lives in fear around me. The truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed in God we trust. Yeah, everyone lives in fear around me. The truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk.
Arrogance is the primary ingredient that will make you assume you can take action without God. Arrogance. That's actually what it is. You think you got this and you know more than God. That's why your drift turns into a twirl.
Thank God for this day. Hey, you're not promised tomorrow. Realize your life is borrowed, so say what you gotta say. Hey, get it all off your chest. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't that what Twitter's for? Clout. And all these other platforms. Followers who has more. You have found your reward. Matter of fact, engage some more, and for sure you'll find yourself in these social media wars. Oh Lord, let's talk about it. You be about it, I be about it. So relying on social media, how would you be without it? Non-existent. Your entire system would just be a flop if you don't listen and got no vision. How could you reach the top? Twitter fingers like a ninja. Stay mask, move fast, you would know who hit you. Cut you and split you, causing division, moving on in you like a temporal pincer. Trying to paint the perfect picture. Write lyrics like the holy scriptures. Deep and profound, you're feeling me now. After hearing the sound, you're hearing me now. Coming for the facts, now lose track. Got me thinking that this couldn't be more crazy. If I take it back to the very act, you were talking smack when you actually thought you played me. Tell me who's true, there's only a few. Keep me in tune while seeking the truth. Salute to the crew, I'm paying my dues. Be sure to give credit where credit is due. Thank God for this day. Hey, you're not promised tomorrow. Realize your life is borrowed, so say what you gotta say. Hey, get it all off your chest. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't that what Twitter's for? Clout. And all these other platforms. Followers who has more. You have found your reward. Matter of fact, engage some more, and for sure you'll find yourself in these social media wars. Oh Lord.
Media is just like syphilis, wholesome wickedness, tearing folks down who bore witness to the passions of the movies that they love, to the director who rose up above, the hatred, the jealousy of those who was friendly, who turned into some of the worst of our enemies. A disgrace when your smiles in our face, doing that for only the clout that you chase. It's too late. Fruit of your labor was laced with a poison that most of you clowns couldn't taste. We know who you are, so fake the funk if you want. Make all your videos, cause we know you're a chump. You tried to divide, but we was wise to your lies. We testify that you were snakes in disguise. And don't depend on those little simps on your side. They only live off the drama you provide.
Thank God for this day. Hey, you're not promised tomorrow. Realize your life is borrowed, so say what you gotta say. Hey, get it all off your chest. Nothing more, nothing less. Isn't that what Twitter's for? Clout. And all these other platforms. Followers who has more. You have found your reward. Matter of fact, engage some more, and for sure you'll find yourself in these social media wars. Who would've thought there'd ever be a Muslim-Christian connection? Welcome to America, the saint, the kingdom of heaven. Two brethren with reverence to the Most High, keeping them strengthened. Counting our blessings in a time where there's division and tension. From the streets to these tweets, the people keep on wildin'. Violence keeps on rising in every single environment. So I pray for God's love to pour out and assalamu alaikum. But take my kindness for weakness, then you're sadly mistaken. I'm just like David, fighting off wars, bears. We going up, shit going down. We lighting them up, you best hit the ground. Shooting them up, one after round. When there's blood in the air, you better not dare to come around town. Father, please forgive me, have mercy on my soul. Fools keep trying to test me and I will never fold. It's the way that Wendy raised me, the city of the gold. Load them up and let them go, load them up and let them go, load them up and let them fly.
You know what it is. It's your boy Il Divino Vega. This is the Chop Shop. And man, oh man, what a Super Bowl show we had yesterday. More so the halftime show. Obviously going to be discussing that amongst other things. But as always, I'm not going to be doing it alone. Today I have the privilege of having the homies with me. We got Prince. This is Prince's first appearance on the Chop Shop in the flesh. And we also got the homie Penn. Long time veteran in the Chop Shop realm.
The vets are here.
fellas.
What's good, y'all?
Vega,
What's the
Penn,
word?
what's up, man?
Shoot, you know, we here. We about to chop it up, bro. As we always do. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, for those that don't know, Prince is usually in the comment section, engaging with us. But this time I'm like, hey, let's get you in person. Let's get you in person.
Hey, and may I say something really quick, Vega, just on that?
Sure.
If you guys are watching, make sure you do hit that like button and support the channel. Hit that subscribe
Appreciate
button.
that.
It is an honor to be here on the Chop Shop. So big shout out to Vega for just opening his platform and allowing me to come through and share dialogue, you know what I'm saying? And also big shout out to my homie Penn, who I served with in the military and I've been friends with for over 13 years plus now. So it's awesome to share the floor with these guys, you know what I'm saying?
Man, much love, brother. Much love. We got Uzi in the chat. Boricua!
If you know,
Para
you know.
siempre. Come on now.
It's VIP.
Hey.
What those?
Oh, all right, guys. Let's just jump into it, man. What were your thoughts about the Super Bowl yesterday?
Oh man, it was a brutal game. The halftime show was the best part of the event. You know what I'm saying? I predicted 28-24 Seahawks winning.
That's right.
The Patriots didn't show up for the 24. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? The moment was too big. Like the moment was too big for the young Drake May. Doesn't mean he's not gonna improve on this and get better. He's gonna learn from it and be better. Right. But it was just too big for him. I was watching it on a stream with Prince. We were on FaceTime, and one of the first things I told him was, if the Patriots want to win this game, they need to figure out the run.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? Let's see. Drake May had 5 rushes, 37 yards. Stevenson, 7 rushes, 23 yards. Henderson, 6 rushes, 19 yards. They couldn't figure out the run. This is why the offense looked like what they look like, bro.
Yep.
Drake May, he couldn't figure out the reads. And let's give credit to the Seahawks. That defense is fast, in your face, nasty. Hey, and the Patriots defense nasty too. I've never seen more aggressive corners. They were with each and every wide receiver, right? Until they weren't. You know what I'm saying? But they showed out. They showed out, and they kept the game close.
The problem wasn't the defense. The problem wasn't the defense. That's for sure.
Right. That's right.
The problem wasn't the defense.
Special teams played well. Defense played great. The offense was unseen. I don't know why McDaniels gave up on the run. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no excuse that oh snap. He said, can we talk about Bad Bunny traveled 120 yards? Patriots rush for 79, bro. Bad Bunny outran. That's crazy work right there.
Uzi said he got more yards on his performance than the offense
the entire game, dog.
Yeah.
Oh snap,
man! It's just the truth.
It was bad, bro.
The run game was bad. I mean, again, the offense just didn't show up. Because if they had, it would have been a different game. We would have been talking about a different game here. You know, the defense did its job. You know, it kept them down as best as they could. You know, like keeping them down to just scoring field goals, right? Like I saw another meme that said that the kicker should have been the MVP of the game because essentially he's the one who put all the points on the board.
He did that though.
So
he was locked on one. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't miss one.
He didn't miss one. You know,
his job to perfection. I'll be here next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's pretty much.
But respectfully, I think that goes to show. And I'm not gonna lie, just as a disclaimer from Prince, you know what I'm saying? I don't watch every football game. I'm not tuned in like that, but I know you gentlemen are very versatile and very extensive in your knowledge of sports. So I just want to put that out there. I'm not an ESPN analyst, but I am an athlete. I'm somebody who knows the mentality of what it takes to be on the field and or the court.
Right.
And with that being said, and the information that I gathered about this Super Bowl, as Penn said, we were talking about it. It wasn't that the defense didn't do their job. You know what I'm saying? Right. There were so many points in the game where we were looking at it, and I was telling Penn, hey, man, they have a chance. The Patriots have a chance because they're nitpicking. They're getting these 3 points, 3, 6, 9. You know what I'm saying? But I think ultimately it comes down to the fact that Drake May has a lot of improving to do. He has to fit the Patriots program and system and develop into that type of player. He's the second youngest player to start in a Super Bowl. So that's something that you got to really consider. You know, he's a young 100%. Buck. He's 100%. Around a great program. And as Penn stated, he was just a little too big for the moment, man. It was a little too big of a pressure, but it's a testament to the Patriots and the Seahawks defense because there were chances. There were chances, I feel like.
Oh, 100%. No, 100%. There's moments, I mean, where I'm like, okay. I mean, even when you think about down to that last drive before that interception that for sure just cemented the course of where the game was going, right? Like it was up to that point where the game still seemed like, oh man, maybe these guys got a shot, you know? And yeah, it just, you know, I can't understand the playmaking, you know, or maybe it's not necessarily more, or maybe it's not so much the playmaking. Maybe again, it's just the inexperience of Drake May, just not reading the defense properly, not seeing the right guys he should be throwing to throughout that game. If he was going to do that, but yeah, there was up to a certain point where it just seemed like, oh man, like. That the Patriots defense is probably going to be what's saving the game for them. Looks like they're about to start scoring. They seem to have this like trajectory, but yeah, it was too big for him. It was too big for him.
Yeah. Honestly, bro, I would definitely put it on McDaniels too. The game call, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Each play, the calls that he was making, like for you to just like disengage on the run and throw it 3, 4, 5, 6. Look, Drake May, he threw it for 43 times.
Yeah,
that's not a recipe for success for a 23-year-old. Yeah. I don't care who you are. I don't care what 23-year-old you are. Throwing the ball 43 times during a Super Bowl,
right?
It's not going to get the job done. And I say that too because on Sam Darnold's side, even though he made more plays, he was more elusive in the pocket. Mm-hmm. He threw it 38 times. He only completed 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a recipe to succeed, especially in those moments. Right. Seahawks got lucky that the Patriots didn't show up. They didn't run the ball at all.
Yeah.
Drake May couldn't throw. The receivers couldn't get open. And the play calling was terrible, straight up.
Yeah.
I was calling for drag routes. I'm like, look, with this Seahawks team, they're running that pinch blitz, bro. So in order to try to have an opportunity,
right,
you need to run a drag, you need to run a curl, you need to run an out like that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who's doing it, but those are the fundamental plays you got to run when you're bringing 2-3 linebackers at a time.
right.
And they weren't running though. They were running some weird slants that like the time is not to run a slant. It's not like Madden where you could just that's your go-to play. You could just sling it and ring it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Third and 8. I'll run a slant right here. I get something. It's not like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you have to spread out the field where it makes sense and know what the defense is going to bring. And it seemed like they didn't know. They were, I don't know if they were overconfident or they were just thinking about Drake May's injury, where they lost sight of focus on what the game plan was going to be. But I'm not going to lie, bro. That first 20 script, bro, that the Patriots had was not it, bro. Like I feel like they didn't have a game plan.
You know what, Penn? Hey, Penn, just to interject a little bit, what was the C word that we were talking about a lot yesterday that I felt like was the difference in everything you're talking about?
Tell me.
Composure, G.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? And that kind of, we were talking about it as the quarters and the minutes were going by, because when you get down to something as big as a Super Bowl and you get down to the teams that have made it all the way to that point, it's the intricacies that you start to notice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And through everything he said to what I know you're feeling, Vega, and anybody with any kind of common sense could have seen, right? It came down to, like Penn just said, they didn't have the best game plan on either side. You can critique it as much as you want. But what I noticed is that Sam, right? The Seahawks quarterback, he just seemed to be more composed throughout the whole process. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what allowed certain things to happen for them opposed to the Patriots.
100%.
No, 100%. I mean, and you know that's like you said, it comes down to common sense, right? Because in the end of the day, like that makes sense, right? Like you're talking about Sam has been playing for a while now, all different teams, so he's definitely, you could tell, you saw the experience in his game compared to Drake May's, and that just showed, even though obviously Rob pointed out is that even when you're looking at the stats, though, it's not like he killed, but again, that's testament to just that Patriots defense.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. It was composure. It was weird to see, like, not only do I feel like they didn't run as much as they should have, or at least figure out how to, not that they didn't try and run, because they tried to run, but not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, figure out a different route, like a different gap, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seemed like
absolutely.
You got to give Henderson more than 6 carries straight up.
Gotta, and especially
he's so fast and explosive. Even if it's not working,
you know what I'm saying?
He's like fast enough to break something. You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. Personally, again, I think you're right, Pin. Like the whole Drake May injury being a factor, probably for a more reservation to what even he could do. I think was a thing, because again, in my mind, I'm like, bro, if you don't see nobody open, move yourself, get those yards, get the first down, run, man. You are a QB that can run, just run. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying to rely on that, but what I'm saying is if you can use it. I feel like
we saw glimpses of that, Vega. We saw glimpses more towards the second half, more towards the end of the game.
Part. Yeah.
We saw glimpses of what was possible. You know what I'm saying? But it was almost like a dollar short, a day late type of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's like, it's a shame, because it's like, dude, if there's anything, I don't know, you guys, if you guys agree with this, but and just me witnessing the game with all these different quarterbacks that have the ability to be versatile in that regard, right? That have an arm but also have legs, right? When you show that that's what you are and that's what you can do, you become a threat to the defense, because they don't know whether or not they should stay close to guard you to make sure you don't run, or if they should be like keeping up with the receivers, you know what I'm saying? And, and have some sort of distance, whatever, to just stay covering, right? So when you show that you're not doing that, which again, this was that first half went, again, you're making the job easier on the defense, in my opinion, because you're not showing them that you can, like, oh yeah, if you sleep on me, boom, this is what I'm gonna do to you, you know. And if you're looking for your receivers to get open a bit more, that's how you do it. Like have them on the cusp of like, all right, we don't know what he's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like when you don't run as much, when you are a QB that can, and I'm not saying you have to do it like a lot. I'm just saying do it enough that it keeps the defense on their toes rather than super comfortable knowing that as long as we cover, as long as we apply the pressure, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it just, I don't know. In my mind, I just felt like
no. You're going down the right path, Vega. Because again, I'm not a hardcore watcher all the time, but again, Penn, we tap in on a lot of different games when it comes to NBA, NFL, things of that nature, and knowing how in depth he goes with it, there was a couple moments where the Patriots kept doing the same thing, and he said, "You know what, bro? I think Seattle figured them out, G."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of going in line with what you're saying, you know.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like there were opportunities where the game was close enough to where the New England Patriots coaching staff and Drake Mays could have spiced things up and did things a little different while it was affordable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They kind of waited too late for things to, because again, I just recall that fourth quarter where Drake Mays was kind of aggressive before that interception.
Right.
But you were seeing glimpses of everything that you're talking about, switching it up a little bit, getting it to your runners, getting 5 to 7 yards, throwing a little pass. Yeah, I think he did a little shovel pass at one point that was kind of sweet. Like, okay.
Yep.
And I remember saying something to Penn, like, even though they're out of the game, those last 4 minutes, he needs to use these while he has it in the bank. The game's not over in the sense of, okay, you know you lost, but these are still crucial minutes for you to learn what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right. No, I think you're right. And honestly, I feel like I think they partly showed that, you know, like they were trying to still make plays to the last second, you know, which I think speaks to what you're saying, you know, is like win or lose, you know what I'm saying? You want to make the most of the time you do have, even if it seems like you guys are that far out. I mean, I guess the reality is in a perfect world, if they could have scored in those last seconds, onside kick, grab the ball, and then score another touchdown. But that's like a very, you know,
and then another onside kick.
Yeah, you know it's out of hand pretty much, but at the same time, you're still here. This is a professional sport. We're not gonna run to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly, you still got to play that last second. You know what I'm saying?
You still got to play it out.
You talked about
points on the board.
You talked about keeping the defense on its toes.
Yeah.
The only way to do that, you have to run the ball in order to get play action going. Play action is the number one priority when it comes to any football team. That's the thing that opens up the defense. That's the thing that makes them on their toes. Am I going to guard this receiver tight? Am I going to give him 10-yard distance? Are they going to run the ball over here? Are they going to do a reverse run, a misdemeanor run? Misdemeanor. Which one are you going to do at the end of the day? But play action is the key to all of that, man. Like you can't just be like, I'm not going to run the ball. We're going to throw it. Because when you do play action, they know you're going to throw the ball and they're going to be in your face. And that's where the turnovers came with the fumbles. They try to play action and they're like, they're not going to run it. They're not even giving it to their boys.
Right.
Our running back had 27 carries. Their number one running back had 7. That's why the play action worked for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks.
Right.
Because they were able to run the ball. And when they ran play action, more times than not, especially in that second half, it was a successful play, whether it was 5 yards, whether it was going for a big play. Like they did what they wanted to do at the end of the day, especially that second half. And that's how you get a defense on the toes, man. You got to run play action. You got to run the ball. If you're just going to pass 43 times, this is the result every time. Yeah. This is going to be the result.
And Penn, just to highlight again what you're talking about, right? Do you remember the second portion of what we were talking about when it comes to running? Do you remember what I was saying about the Patriots offense?
Tell them.
I was saying that Drake May is going out of the offense in less than 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They're not progressing the ball enough, which goes into what he's saying. Run the ball. Every time you throw that ball, 30 seconds or less, you're stopping the clock. Incomplete pass.
Right.
You're not putting faith in your run game, and you're allowing the opponents to have the ball more than you.
That's right.
If I'm gonna take a chance, it's gonna be on my gunners. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just gonna keep throwing the ball away.
Exactly.
And what was their defense 80% of the time? When they blitz, everyone was at the line. Whoever didn't blitz, they had 5 yards back because they knew they're gonna throw it.
Right.
They had the distance. They were never on press defense. Never, not once. They were always 5 yards back. They gave a little cushion for it. And it's like, what are you gonna do with the Patriots if you decide and choose not to run the ball, which they did? Look, even at 12-0, that don't mean you got to pass it first, second, and third down.
Yeah.
There was no flow, like Prince said, of the game. There was no flow of a drive.
It wasn't.
Except that touchdown pass, touchdown drive. That
was
that's
nice.
The only one.
Yeah.
That was smooth. I was like, yay. I remember Prince. I was like, he got a touchdown here right before the snap even happened. I saw the defense like they got it right here. Like if they execute, it's a TD. And it's exactly what happened, bro. And it's like you can see how things are gonna work out while the game is progressing. Like it's like chess, bro. Like you're seeing the pieces form, and when the big plays happen, where they happen off? Play action. How's the defense playing? The Seahawks never played in. Whoever was blitzing, they're the ones on the line. Linebackers, everybody. If they're not, you saw no one fall back. You never saw a hike where the linebackers showed blitz and they just fell backwards.
Right.
They didn't go into coverage. They attacked, and whoever didn't attack was already at coverage, and they were at the position they needed to be already because they're not running the ball. We don't need to play tight. We don't need 8 in the box. We're good. We're good with 5.
We know what they're gonna do.
Yeah. And that's what happened. They knew. No cameras needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was rough.
No cameras needed at practice.
They're not gonna play action this time, guys. We already know.
Hey, they might fake the play action, but you know they throwing it. You know what I'm saying? They gonna throw it. They ain't gonna do nothing else.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough, man. It was rough.
To see Drake May throw it for even I felt that way too with Caleb Williams in the last game versus the Rams. Like he almost threw it 50 times.
Yeah.
Look how bad he was the first 3 quarters because of all those throws. Like you got to run the ball in order to be successful, bro.
Yeah,
you got to run it to eventually get a play action drive going. That's it.
Right. No, I agree. That again, same sentiments here. They didn't run as much as they should have, which again doesn't keep the defense on their toes. Again, you were gaining yardage every time you did run. So it was kind of weird. Maybe there was a few stops here and there, like at the line, but for the most part, you guys were getting the yards you needed, they should have definitely ran it a lot more. I think
32 to 18 carries. 18 carries is nothing.
No, it's nothing.
You got to be at least 26. Yeah, minimum.
Can I ask you a question, Vega? Because I was talking to Penn. I was talking to Penn about this also. When it got to halftime, before Bad Bunny and all that, you feel what I'm saying? Before the halftime show, when you saw the score, literally, because I know you're a Patriots fan, what was your thought process going from what you saw to the first half? What was your thought process at that point? And then what was your thought process about what was going to happen after halftime? Did you think they were going to change the script, or were you?
I thought they were. I thought they were because here's the thing. I personally, the score at halftime didn't concern me yet. Right? What was it? 12-0.
Agreed.
So I'm like, it didn't concern me. I'm like, all right, well, that's just come back, dominate, 2 touchdowns, you're ahead. And I thought, and here's the reason I thought this is because this kind of goes back to we even said earlier, is like it does come back to the play calling because. The reality is most of the Patriots wins were almost similar to the Bears, like in the sense of that there was always this second quarter
adversity.
Adjustments that were made to the adversity of how the game is looking, right? And so, I thought, I'm like, all right, Mike Vrabel's going to do his thing, same way as Ben Johnson. You're going to go into the locker room, you're going to figure out what needs to be done. You're going to get with the coaches or whatever. So you're going to figure out whatever schemes you got to do, adjustments and all that going forward. That's what I thought was going to happen come that second half, to, again, why I really wasn't concerned yet, But when I saw, once the second half took off and we're just seeing the same, there was no adjustments made. There was no, it was weird. It was like there was no adjustments. It almost seemed like there was no faith, you know what I'm saying, in your players' abilities to make open up gaps on the line and or you know or you know what I'm saying, I don't know, like things like that I'm just like, why are we running like how we should be running the ball, you know?
Right.
Why isn't Drake May running a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, to keep
I think they knew why.
You
I
know
think that shoulder injury was more than they
what
let on.
they let on, probably, yeah. And that
it
probably
is.
was one of my
But
concerns.
that's why I'm saying you got to run the ball more. You should have 30
More
carries.
if that's the case, yeah.
You're supposed to have 30 carries. If your QB has a hurt shoulder,
right?
Look how he was throwing the deep ball. It was like, what the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? It was like, damn, that's tough,
rough,
bro. Like
rough.
it's just hanging in the air. Like I could throw that throw. I could let that throw hang in the air like
dude,
that.
That
like,
was that was that one
big city, bro.
Like a lot of those, dude, a lot of his throws felt like low key. He got lucky.
Nowhere near
that he didn't get as many interceptions as he probably could have.
They dropped
just because of how long he was letting that, like again, I'm sure it was the shoulder, because almost every pass. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was a few this I think goes back to what Prince was saying. Like there were opportunities and moments where it was more on the receiver than it was on May, where like
about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, where it was a nice bullet pass, catch it in your hands, and you take off, and yeah, it was like, what the hell? So, but yeah, that was the minority of passes he was throwing to the majority, which were very much like just like floaters, and I'm like,
out of reach.
What are you doing? Yeah, or out of reach too, exactly. So it was just like it was when that second half started and I just saw that, like, I'm like, oh, this isn't a good look. But again, for me, I held out up until, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I held out to the very end, but like, at least, but for sure,
when reality started setting in.
When reality started sinking in, it was like I said, it was that one interception on that drive that should have been another touchdown, where now you're down just by one, or like all you need is one more touchdown to, like, get ahead. And it was that moment where I'm like, oh man, and then the deal was like, at that moment was for sure that if they don't stop, if they allow Seahawks to score, whether field goal or touchdown at this point, now it's gonna be it's a tougher battle now,
Yeah,
and sure enough, that's how it played out.
Respectfully, I didn't even know this. This is how casual I am. You feel me? Like, I didn't even know that Drake May had a shoulder injury going into the game. So just hearing that information now and then seeing the way things progressed, it kind of makes more sense now. And if I was a Patriot fan, no cap, I would be more upset in the sense that they didn't run the ball more and have faith in the other offensive tools that they had. Because again, I'm looking from a casual standpoint. I had no idea his shoulder was messed up.
Yeah, no, I even told you they might have to bench him and call it a year. I said that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like the third quarter. You were like,
it was a third quarter.
Might have to bring in the secondary team because like he's
saying it. Like he ain't got it. Like
something has to happen right here.
He's not him right now. Like straight up.
But that makes sense.
But
that makes
sense.
I
gotta say this. Look, I'm sorry to do this.
Yeah,
but I have to say this now. As a Bears fan, brother, I'm happy with Caleb Williams as my QB over Drake May.
Oh no, yeah,
over Daniels, over Sam Darnold. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool with Caleb. You know what I'm saying? We found our quarterback. You know what I mean?
No, we got a great quarterback.
Once his contract's up, we're gonna extend him for another 5 to 6 years. Like, here's $500 million, my D. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's gonna be.
Here's pause. You know.
For real though.
Oh, damn.
Bro.
No, but I mean, you're right on that. Like, I mean, I put it like this. I think
he's better than Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that is for sure.
100%.
That is for sure. Bro. I would say this. I think
you already know how I feel.
Unfortunately, because if I'm correct, that shoulder injury, it came like at the very last practice. If I'm correct, right? Like,
no, he's been dealing with it since like the Texans, bro. Before like week 17.
Oh, okay.
I think it happened week 17.
Come across that information till that last practice. Like I got that notification that said, Drake May.
He was questionable last week or 2 weeks ago.
Shoulder injury during practice. So in my mind, I'm like, the way I saw that was I was like, oh man, like this changes everything. especially if they don't even play him, because then it's like, this is who you've been practicing with.
Yeah, he reactivated it. That's what they said. It was a reaggravation to.
Damn, so it is what it is, But I mean, but at the same time, hey, like, power to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, most, you kind of have to admire some a player that's willing to like play through an injury.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a testament to their character, to their will.
Unless you're Anthony Davis. No, I'm
playing. Anthony Davis, bro.
No, I'm playing.
For real, though.
Damn, AD.
Oh, man. Hey, some people have different pain tolerance.
Yeah.
He has the worst pain tolerance.
Yeah,
like any little thing. He smacked the ball. My foot. Like,
my
head. I got headache. He can't play. Migraines. Damn, AD.
Oh man, that was rough, dude. It was rough. But yeah, man. I look. I'll say this. Like I said last week or last time we talked was, whether they won or lost, I was still happy that they were at the.
For sure.
What? Hey, Uzi, anybody can get it, man. We're linking it all up. You feel me? We're linking it all up.
Hey, it is what it is. You know
right? No, it is what it is. Hey,
don't be hurt.
Just don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Don't get hurt.
It's kind of funny we bring up that topic though, because like in all seriousness, like aside from just football, basketball, like even boxing, and UFC, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that we see it from a consumer standpoint, like watching the entertainment, but like you guys said, there's a lot of people that factoring in their experience and the development, all the surrounding things, just being able to show up on the big stage and play through an injury. I mean, that is something that you also kind of have to consider. You know what I mean? We have expectations of these people, but when they're going through something that obviously outweighs the desire and the drive to perform, I mean, it just is what it is, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
period.
We can see it. We can see it.
Yeah.
No,
for sure.
We can see it.
And I think both Bears and Patriots, dude, they're gonna be teams that are gonna be dangerous next season.
Yeah.
They're gonna be dangerous next season. Period. Like,
no matter the schedule.
No matter the schedule.
No matter the schedule, you see the Patriots or the Bears.
Yeah.
You gotta circle that on the calendar.
You gotta.
It's gonna be a dogfight, bro.
You gotta, dog.
If they get who they need to get.
That's right. That's right.
Which
obviously that's come off season.
The Bears need someone to get after the quarterback. They need to address their entire line. I'd get rid of Dexter if you can. Garrett, Billings got to go. You know what I mean? And do what the Patriots do what the Eagles and what the Seahawks do, man. They focus on that defensive interior.
Focus on that defensive.
That line, that defensive line is the most important thing. They'll trade for Lawrence, bro, who played for the Cowboys last year. Like, he never won a Super Bowl with 11 years with the Cowboys. He won one this year. Worked out for him though. They had nobody with over 10 sacks, but everyone had 8 sacks. 7 sacks. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a 16-20 sack game changer. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just need everyone to eat. You know what I mean? If you got that, you can get 50 sacks a year as a team. That's huge.
That's huge.
Give me that.
100%.
So they need to do that, but hey, we're moving. We're moving in the right direction, and I'm excited to be a Bears fan. I think every Bears fan is excited. Yeah, get the sack now.
Bring your own sacks,
guys. Obviously, we're here. Speaking of sacks, get your sacks.
Oh snap! Oh snap!
How many sacks you got?
Sack him.
No, but
pancake you. Go after his sack.
As a team.
Together.
50.
In unison. Oh,
forward arch. No.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That is.
Oh, dad. But all right, halftime show performance though. Obviously the highlight I think of the game. Truly, I mean, again, and that's speaking hyperbolically, obviously, because the game was what it was. Shout out to both teams, both defenses for sure. I would say that, and one team just capitalized on what they could more than the other.
One team's just better. Yeah, one team just better on paper.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Their experience showed on the offense, I would say.
Execution.
It's a good team.
Yeah,
it's a good team.
But
Westbrook boys.
I mean, look, they were the number 1 seed in the NFC. Period. Right. So that's that. For a reason. So, but again, that aside, that halftime show for sure was a great show in my opinion. Obviously, go ahead.
I just want to give you a reaction real quick. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll let you talk about everything about this, but like when the Don Omar and Daddy Yankee songs came out, I was watching with Prince, bro. I was like, finally, like this look, this is about the music culture, my boy. The music culture. I screamed that, bro. Literally 2 seconds later, my boy.
Yeah.
Them dudes want to touchy, them nutties together. I said, oh, hell no. I was like, he's doing it. He's bringing the car. Hell no. I was so disappointed at that part. But that's the only part. That's the only part. But I was super like, ain't no way he did that there, bro. Get that truck out of the field, man. Get that truck out of the field. Y'all nasty selves. Y'all nasty. I don't care.
That was
y'all nasty.
Look, obviously, I can't.
They humped each other forwards. Like,
that was. And then it's funny. You're right. The timing of it, it's funny because I think we all thought the same thing, bro. We all thought the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we heard Don Omar, we heard Daddy Yankee. We're like, I'm thinking, dude, they're about to, what I'm saying? Like
I thought they were about to come out for a second, bro.
And, dude, I honestly, at that moment, I thought to myself, like, he did what we wanted. He did what we wanted.
And then we saw,
And then
I was like, no.
Literally,
like, I don't want my.
We're on the phone. He was like, bro. "What the?"
Yeah, I said, "What the hell?" He's doing it. He's doing it for the moment. He's doing it for the culture. Oh hell no! That's exactly.
Hey, Vega. And Penn knows. I told him. I said, "Let's not be oblivious, bro. They always have to interject that and whatever." So I was like, expect that moment to come. And it
100%. Look, 100%. At the end of the day, it didn't elude me that he was gonna do it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter what it is. They're always gonna put that imagery for a couple seconds and be like, don't forget.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, like, it's just funny because honestly, I think we all had that.
Now get back to your culture.
I'm dead.
He's finally doing it. He's finally. I can confirm my cousin wasn't not at the Super Bowl. I could confirm that he was not a dancer.
Okay, because I was gonna say they had a lot of dances out there for sure.
Yeah, he wasn't a part of them.
Okay,
that jump sucked though. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That but other part outside of that, bro. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. A dolphin slapping fins, bro. That's kind of crazy.
Yo.
High fived each, low fived each other, bro.
No, for sure. Look again. That same. I think we all had that reaction.
We're gonna chop it all up. We're gonna chop the whole block.
We gonna chop it up about everything.
This the chop shop.
Right. But I guess if there was a place to start, was there, right? To get it out the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I look. I can, to me, if there's any critique, I get that critique. All right, that's to the side though. All right, putting that to the side.
Yeah. Outside of that,
look, he won. Here's the thing, I would say, you know how we were talking about, you know how we were talking about, you know,
He can tell you a story about that, Vega. He could. He could
yeah,
tell you.
yeah. Wait, about what?
Mama made this. Yeah, Princess Mama made this to me.
Oh, nice.
Prince gave this.
That was a gift. That was a gift to my boy Penn, way back in the military, bro.
Way back.
Oh, bet. Well, there you go. See, now we know that there's actually sentimental value there.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's funny because he always brings it up. Now it's appropriate. It's just funny for me because every now and then in other episodes he'll bring it up. I'm like, what's going on?
Hey,
that's what I'm saying.
I do that. I'm just prideful, man.
Yeah, 100%.
I like this, bro. Like original Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Oh, but yeah, if you think about it, right?
Think about what I just said. I ain't talking about superheroes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or maybe I am. Think about
maybe he is.
Figure it out on your own. But look,
maybe
prideful.
Maybe Senor Rogers.
I'll always have something Puerto Rico on me, bro. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, 100%. I mean, look.
Which makes you so proud. Come on.
That's what we're going into, right? This is what
I don't have
want us to talk about, right? Like,
I mean,
this is what they don't want us to talk about.
This is what they want us to talk about. That's right. Look, here's the thing. We obviously had some reservations, right? We knew, like we said, we knew something was going to be in there, right? So it's like, all right, they're gonna do this. They have to, right? It's and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what they're gonna do, you know. But that aside, he did, I think, what nobody thought he would do, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that all the weeks leading up to this moment, right? You have let's just say, I guess, the obvious cannon fodder that was designed, right? You know, to create controversy and division between, you know, peoples, I guess you could say, you know.
Exactly.
And,
for sure.
You had one party that was definitely, I guess you could say, stoking that, right? Like, or feeding into it, while one was already narrating that the other side helped in achieving that, right? And to a degree, right? I'm just base level covering what I'm saying here. And then on the other side, yeah, you had the party that creates the narrative, but also that we're trying to, how do you say, he was their mascot, so to speak. They thought he was, is my whole point. They thought he was going to be the mascot, right? He's going to be the face of what we're saying, right? And so there was this idea of contention and again reservation, like, oh man, like as we said, like hopefully he doesn't do political, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, like hopefully he just stays true to the culture, just I hope that's what he's focused on, whatever. And he didn't disappoint, you know what I'm saying? Like my man's literally, like anybody who saw politics in there, like I mean there was some little bit, like very tiny bit.
I mean the phone poll,
yeah, and that's what I mean. And but that's it. But even that's perspective, right? Like how you want to interpret. Yeah, how you want to interpret what he's saying with that. That's up to perspective. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like, you know, the reality is my man's really didn't make it political. He for sure promoted the culture.
100%.
But the way I personally feel is that he also just found a way to, even between the show, to strategically break the mold of how do you say, addressing said issues of culture, right? Of like, you know, white America and whatever the case may be, right? So the fact that he had, I think one of the genius moves was the Lady Gaga thing. I'm like, genius move, you know, I see what you're doing there. You know what I'm saying? You got this white, I mean, it doesn't get whiter than her.
White.
She is white. She's white. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Pale skin. You know what I'm saying? She is a pale skin. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, get out of know. But whole point is, you know, he not that he used her, but that
he used her.
But the fact that she was a part of that was like, you know, it was not attacking, but like it was like a let's quash that debacle. Let's quash that narrative. You know what I'm saying? You got this white lady who's able to sing, dance to my culture, so don't give me this, you know.
I feel like it was a message of unity.
Yeah, 100%.
Straight up.
And then that was that, right? Like, it's like it's like we can all come together to respect the culture, and then the way he even ends it, like towards the end, where obviously, like with the again, if you're paying attention, right, and if you're really, so I'll put it like this:
in tune.
yeah, if you're in tune, right? If you're in tune and you're honest, if you're in tune and if you're honest, right? Because I feel like a lot of people came out of that and they're still trying to create narratives. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's insane if you came out thinking something other than what it really was.
Yeah.
But at the end, again, he says, "God bless America." You got the two flags, American and Puerto Rican flag, in the forefront of the line, right? Which again, it matters. Again, I always say context matters.
Talked about this, man.
Do not say this was anti-American. The man came out with the American flag and the Puerto Rican flag in the forefront, right, of all the other flags, right?
Talked about it.
And he and again starts by saying, "God bless America," whatever. And then obviously at the end, boom, names all the countries that are all in our side of the hemisphere, right? All American, from South to North, Central and North America, whatever countries, respectfully, right? Respectfully. But
America.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like South America, North America.
Yeah, no, for sure. And look,
we're all American.
Here's the thing: just to even or I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, again, apart from also the culture aspect that he obviously highlighted here, right? From our fighters, the piraguas, the bodegas, whatever, the casita and all that stuff. Like, apart from all that, exactly. He also that whole wedding thing, like,
that was tight. That was tight.
So again, if you want, if you read the title to the show today, that's why I called it "Love Wins." Because really and truly, if there was any takeaway from the show, it was that. And obviously, like, me and you, Pin, we discussed the Grammy thing, right? The Grammy situation, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, we both agreed, like, not a good move to somehow unprioritize God in your speech, and somehow make him second to the notions of whatever you believe to be true. Which I still feel that to be true. I'm not steering away from that. And then especially when you have a stark contrast, and when you have literally Jelly Roll follow you, and he's on business when it comes to his representation of like what he believes to be true in his faith.
Felon.
So, felonies. He loves heroin.
That's why.
So,
let's tell the truth here. Felon.
Yeah, right. But see, even that's what makes that even more remarkable, right? It's the fact that that's what he was standing on, right? It's the fact that this is what God saved him from, right? And Jesus, to be exact. Everybody can claim God, but it's a step further when you're actually claiming Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. That's a bold statement. That's a bolder statement than just saying I believe in God. But anyways, my whole point to that I'm bringing that up is that apart from the fact that I found issue with how Bad Bunny decided to start his rant, right? There was something that he did say though that was key, right? And that's that, and this is me like paraphrasing, because obviously his way of saying it was probably a lot more broken than how I'm going to say it.
Yep.
But he said, hate, more hate, only, or when you feed more hate with hate, then it's toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like it contaminates you, right? Yeah. So it's easy to do that. But he said, but the only thing that can overcome hate is love, right? Love, and hence love wins, right? And again, I thought it was interesting reflecting on that after seeing the halftime show, because I'm like, that was a precursor to what his intentions were with his show, and again, it's not that you have to agree with him politically. I'm not saying that. That's not at all what I'm saying. Hell, I still don't agree with, I
was about to say, don't. If you need someone to tell you,
right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that what's obvious is that and obviously this is the whole purpose of the Chop Shop at that, is that we as a people, we seem to have like lost sight of just the value in our life, like in life and human life and love, I guess you can say, right? To the point that we allow our differences, our difference of opinions, which is, when you think about it, really and truly, it's like, man, like, it's really petty that would be your reason to disassociate yourself from from someone else and claim some sort of higher, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, elitism or something, or superiority.
Hold on, Vega. If I may, can I chop in on the chop real quick?
For sure.
The way I'm looking at, because we can go so in depth with this portion of the conversation. I feel like honestly, the Super Bowl is great, but when we get on this portion of the topic, we can go so many different
100%.
layers and levels to it.
100%.
And you're talking to somebody who's experienced, like in America, right? Like, I'm a 39-year-old male, man, right? Yep. I'm Black, Dominican, and Puerto Rican, which that in enough, people look at me, and I tell them my name is Enrique, they're like, what? You feel what I'm saying? Because if I was around a different crowd, they'd be like, yo, you don't even look like an Enrique, you know what I'm saying? But that's who I am. Right. So the point being is that I look at it from just keeping it parallel to what you're talking about. See, that's a different dimension right there. Mm-hmm. I believe there's human nature, right? And then I believe there's culture.
Right.
A lot of people don't know how to articulate the fact that as human beings, man, woman, whatever the situation is, whatever God has given you as far as your role to play on this earth, that will always exist. Self-preservation, right?
Right.
From a human standpoint.
Right.
And then when you talk about culture, that just depends on what land you come from, the customs and practices of your land. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And what I feel like, just kind of pushing it forward a little bit, because knowing that we're humans, knowing that we're cultured, but living in America, and I know you can relate, Penn can relate. We've been in so many areas where people don't expect us to be. You see what I'm saying? Like the military, 100%. For one. I'm a truck driver, so I know how important truck driving is to the economy. From past day to present day. You feel what I'm 100%. Saying? But I've gone to places, even in current times, where even though I'm involved with the culture of America, they look at it like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that, boy. Like, how the heck did you get this job, boy? You see what I'm saying? And it's like, I get it. It looks a certain way at a certain time because maybe you didn't see that culture on what America was established and which America was established at that time. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But things have changed, bro. And I think a lot of times when we talk about the Kid Rock, I don't want to like highlight a particular group of people, right? But if you follow what I'm saying, that's what they're angry about. It's like, I understand that America was founded on certain principles, and that's what we're prideful of, hence the military, but it's always been cultured, brother. It's never just been country music and rock. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Even to pretend like that always existed is kind of
it took people of culture to be able to come to America, some forcefully, right? And be able to build what it is. Now, I'm not saying don't represent what America is, because we all are a benefit of that. And this is why I have a problem with how come you can't see me the same way I see you. If I'm doing those things that I believe in God, I've served my country, I'm doing something meaningful to the economics of the country and how it flows. I earn my check. I don't beg. I'm not on EBT. I'm not knocking anyone that is, but I'm just saying, if I'm living the values of what it is, why is it so hard to understand that and make it about culture appropriation? I had a guy the other day. You guys know I have dreadlocks, right? You can't see him now, but I was in the truck stop the other day, and a white dude came up to me and saw my dreads and was like, yo, can I touch him? And I was like, Whoa. Because he was infatuated with it, right? That's what I'm trying to. He was infatuated with it. So I was like, go ahead, bro. Down here. Boom. No, but I'm trying to go to a level where we often joke about,
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that love and hate thing that you said. Like it's really a hidden admiration.
Yes.
And this is what I was telling Pinpoint earlier. I said, it's funny because we talk about black and white, we talk about Hispanic and white, we make it about race, but the reality is our variation, our culture is the most imitated culture in America. You feel what I'm saying? When you talk about black culture and music and the impact in the Hispanic culture, even down to like Los Angeles, when you think about how certain cities are named within these states we live in, it has a heavy influence on culture, bro.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the racism aspect, it makes me upset because I'm like, I check in all the boxes of being American, bro. It's not like I'm un-American to the point. If I go to Puerto Rico right now, they'd probably be like, yo, you're more un-Puerto Rican to us, but it's in my blood. You feel me? Because I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So they would probably see me as an outsider more, even though I bear the flag. You see what I mean?
Right.
So I know I was long-winded there, but I just kind of wanted to add some context to we're living in a world where, and relating it to the bad boy, my name?
Bad boy.
We're not taking that. We're not taking that. No, but to the Bad Bunny, right, and just how much controversy is created. It's like, let Puerto Rico have its moment, is basically what I'm saying.
No,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
Like,
I agree with
let Puerto Rico have its moment, bro.
I mean, and it's again, to me personally,
because what we represent is worthy. You feel me? It's worthy.
100%.
I need to say something.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, real quick. I've had my time of silence, but here we go. A few things. Here's a couple things. All right. I miss the days where the Super Bowl mean like unity. We're coming together again. We're gonna have a party. We're gonna drink. We're gonna, watch this game together. We're gonna watch the halftime show together. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like now any little detail that comes out about the Super Bowl that doesn't have to do with the game, it brings division. And and I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm just tired of it, bro. Like, I'm tired of division. It should be about coming together again. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
And America, this is where they're at right now. And I'm gonna say this, cancel me if you want to cancel me, bro. But look, if you were watching the Bad Bunny, or even if you were like, you know what, I'm gonna watch the other thing instead of Bad Bunny. You racist to me, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You racist. You're a racist, bro. You're a straight racist that don't know the culture and don't know anything about your own culture. You don't know anything about the country that you live in type. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of all these hooligans, bro, that think they know everything because it looks a certain way, but know nothing deep down. You know what I'm saying? It's all an outer shell, and there's nothing within that they can comprehend. I just grow weary of all that stuff, bro. Real talk, man. Like,
no, you
gonna listen to Kid Rock, who don't even speak English when he sings.
That sounds like an orangutan to me, bro.
I'd rather listen to Bad Bunny. You had a dude playing the guitar. I wish I could kiss my fish. Like, ugh. Like, what are y'all representing over there? Like, I'm tired. Real quick. And I got you. I'm tired that America makes a bigger deal about Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl than these pedophiles that are running the streets right now. You know what I mean? And the Epstein files that you can easily knock on their door and say you have the right to remain silent. Anything that can and will be said will be against you in the court of law. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bigger deal on Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl than where is the Microsoft man? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't interview this man. We can't interrogate him. Like, he's still free. Like, that's what I'm tired of.
Where's the Microsoft, man?
Come on, man. I don't even want to say it.
Microsoft.
I don't even say his name, bro. Disgusting.
No, look, I agree with you. I agree with I'll put it like that. I think I agree more with the latter half than the first half. Only because I personally believe, and like I've been stating this whole time, is I'm personally convinced that this idea of people that really weren't I guess on board with the Bad Bunny thing, I find that to be the minority. You know, the majority of people that I'm seeing on my timeline rocked with the Bad Bunny show, and this is on any platform that I'm on, right? The majority was rocking with it. I think there was a minority of people that weren't with it. And here's the thing, though. I don't really care. I wouldn't. I guess what I'm trying to say, I wouldn't go as far as to say like anybody who tuned in into one thing over the other that makes them racist. What I would say is
racism.
It doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll always go back to this personally, in my opinion. There's two things to consider there.
It's real. One, it's real, bro. It's real.
Yeah. No, but well, it's not to say racism isn't real. What I'm saying is somebody not tuning into the Bad Bunny halftime show does not make them racist. Up what I'm pointing out here, and I'll tell you why. Two reasons. One is obviously, again, if you were already, let's just say, there's two aspects there. I think one, if you're already reserved on how you feel about maybe his politics, his choice of ideals, right? Like obviously, if you're not a fan of the fact that he's kissed men on stage, the fact that he's dressed like a woman, things like that, which are counter to your own culture, your own ideals, your own belief system, then I can warrant you the all right, yeah, then maybe you don't want to watch Bad Bunny. Like, why would you, right? So I'd warrant that. That's one aspect to that. Secondly, also, there's just people that don't even care for the halftime show, period, no matter who it is. You know what I mean? Like, matter of fact, I'll be honest, there's been halftime shows where that was my time to like, all right, I'm going to go get myself a drink. I'm going to make myself, yeah, exactly. I'm just going to,
but listen what I said carefully when I first started that. I said anyone who started watching Bad Bunny and changed it to the USA to watch Kid Rock and all them, racist. Not straight up.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
That's just me personally. That's just me personally.
I'll tell you why I don't think that's the case. I personally I have a personal, I guess, experience with somebody that I saw, and not just somebody, a few people that aren't. It's not like they're white or anything. They're Latino, but they actually like country music. They actually like rock. They actually like that's their that's the music they like. They don't listen to reggaeton. They don't listen to hip hop. That's not their style of music. They just prefer Green Day. They prefer Kid Rock. They prefer whoever else was like that. That is their music, right? They grew up on Nirvana. They grew up on, and that exists too. See, the point I'm trying to point out here is that the narrative and notion that this was all about race was more fabricated and a lie than the real truth here. And that's the point I'm making. And it's not, again, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm for sure certain that there are people that are against it because they're ill-informed, they're uneducated, and they don't know that Puerto Ricans are American, whatever. I'm sure that exists too. You know what I'm saying? That, whatever. What I'm saying is that I don't believe that was the majority of people. I think, again, a lot of people don't really care for the halftime show, no matter who's performing. A lot of people, again, have different tastes in music. I think a lot of people have their own convictions that they live by, separate from politics or separate from race. And these are all factors, is my whole point. And so I hold no one to the fire if they decided that this wasn't for them, is my whole point. I'll hold no one to the fire.
I get that. I get that. But I'll let Prince talk, and then I'll rebuttal that. Go ahead.
I just want to say, because I feel the passion of the conversation, this is the point I'm making about human nature and then culture, right? Because I was listening to you, King, speak just now. And again, I'm 39 going on 40 next year or this year. The way I see it is I've seen enough of the world to understand how it actually works. Just like you said, Bad Bunny might kiss dudes on stage and do this. To me, honestly, the way that I'm built, and I was talking to Penn about this, he knows. I said the one thing that I don't appreciate about our culture is that part of it, because I was born in New York. I was raised in California. The reality is, if you want to be honest and authentic, like you say, a lot of our culture that comes from the island over here, a lot of those people are, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? You're right. Like, and I was telling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you look at the pride parades and stuff, what flag do you see floating a lot? You feel me? And like That joint, look, that joint waving like. And so like, I'm just bringing a different element to the chop shop, Vega. You feel me? I'm bringing a different element.
I got a theory behind that, but go ahead.
So no, and it's cool, and I'm gonna make it make sense. This is what I'm getting at: is that as prideful as we are about our opportunity and about where we are from a culture standpoint, and I think this is what people get confused, is that there's still the human aspect, because the same way we're joking about the Epstein files and the white men, you know what I'm saying? and it's in every aspect of human nature. You know what I'm saying? And it's right is right and wrong is wrong, bro. You feel me? 100%. So it's like, you could be my Puerto Rican brother, but if you doing that, I'm gonna be like, my dude, you can't reproduce like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And if I had a white homie that wasn't part of my culture, but from a human standpoint, I had godly principles, I would tell him the same thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just think the world that we live in now, they want you to focus on a particular aspect of it from culture instead of identifying human behavior. Hey, it's going to be in every culture. It's going to be in every walk of life. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to derive right from wrong, and like you said, love wins it. There's a time for war. You feel me?
100%.
And it has to be fought in what, in my opinion, righteousness. If I die for the right thing, okay, cool. Yeah. But if you have me fighting for an abomination, you want me to hate this man, whether he's the same color as me and all that, and I can't appreciate his culture, that doesn't make sense to me, bro. Because just like you said, the same way blacks, the same way Hispanics, Asian, a lot of different cultures have contributed to the human race, whether musically, fashion-wise, whatever. That's what keeps life going. It's not just one particular thing. So my argument is, with those folks who are just one-dimensional, and talking about Bad Bunny, it's like, hey, how you know I don't like a good country song? I might joke when a country song comes on, but if the lyrics are good, I'll listen to it.
Right.
I'm not opposed to your culture. I might do a little line dance, put a cowboy hat on. I'm cool with that. But why do you hate the sugarcane fields? You feel me? Why you hate the people that why you hate the people that like rock and gold in their teeth? You feel me? Like, it's a deeper rooted problem. And that's all I gotta add. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak on that, Pen. I do. And that's all I wanted to say on that. You feel me? That's all I wanted to say on that.
Even with that, I would say, again, there are people like that fall in line with what you're saying. Again, I'm not saying that there isn't. What I'm saying is that that's not everyone. You know what I'm saying, right? Like,
absolutely not.
And it's not even for you. Like, it's not even like towards you that I'm saying. I'm saying what I'm saying so that.
No offense, brother. I'm here.
Anybody who's listening, like, there's another perspective to this as well, right? Like, there's dynamics to this. There's nuance. There's again, context.
Spectrum.
Yes, there's a spectrum.
Definitely a spectrum.
Yeah. So that's all I'm pointing out, right? Like, again, there are guys like me, you, that again, I listen to all types of genres of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and look, even for Uzi, right? Like, he's in there. He said, like, he grew up on Green Day, Nirvana, rock bands. Look, so exactly same. So did I. And look, here's the funny part. He doesn't like Kid Rock. I actually do like Kid Rock. Like, all this talk, I like some of his songs. There are some songs that matter of fact, even the one that we were just riffing on. Even that one, actually, I like it. You know what I'm saying?
I was kidding.
Just to be honest, again, this is me. The white man got you.
Guilty. Like white America.
I knew it. No, I get that. No, and you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, bro. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. Why I said what I said. I'll be clear as day with it, bro. If they had a country artist, which they have before, at the Super Bowl, I'm not going to go out of my way and be like, I'm bringing all the reggaeton and hip-hop artists to my channel, and we going to have a Super Bowl event for the block and for the culture. I would never do. I don't think anyone would really do that. This is the first that it's happened, where they're like, all right, we're going to
Well, it's the first that happened on that scale.
On this scale, yeah. We're talking about millions of people, thousands, whatever. It's happened to thousands, but millions we talk about.
It was
like for them to just even have this secondary thing, and like with Kid Rock, like he has some lyrics where he's talking about 16-year-old girls. That's how he likes it. You know what I'm saying? There's listen to his song. It's like bad versus bad. You know, if you would put it at a moral standpoint, you know what I mean? But it's like,
look, again,
they didn't even have to do that. Is what I'm getting at. Like, let the halftime show be the halftime show. There was a reason there was 142 million people tuned in live to Bad Bunny, most ever watched halftime show ever. It was actually more and then there was 5 million for the white folks all the way down north. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm just tired of the fugazi stuff, and then I think I got a little something in it because we're talking Puerto Rico now. Like we're talking culture.
Again.
Look, Benito, this guy represents Puerto Rico. No matter how you know what I'm saying, how he can be, you know what I mean. Double time, like whatever. Hey, but he did the right. He did mostly the right thing. 97% was pretty solid, bro. And for people who like, hey, you gotta get him out of the country. He's not American. Like you're racist because Puerto Rico are American. We're Americans, bro. Like you're racist. If you don't know Puerto Rico, people who live in Puerto Rico are American citizens, you're racist.
Why does Jake Paul represent Puerto Rico, bro?
Well, see, that's okay. We'll get into that one because
it's a Commonwealth of America, bro. That's Commonwealth, bro.
Yeah, no, that one was a funny thing, and we'll get there, right? We'll get there because that one was a bit funny, but again, I agree with the whole TPUSA thing. You know, like I agree with you on that, right? We've been discussing that, right? Like it's not like this is our first time to saying this. I don't like how they went about doing it because I think you're
racist.
You're stoking division more than you are anything, which in my opinion, personally to me, someone who, you know, would, I guess you could say, tune into some of these guys, Charlie Kirk's debates and things of that nature, and the things that he spoke on. I just feel like this was so counter to what he would actually do. I don't think this was something he would actually have done if he was still alive. So I think that it was a misrepresentation truly on what he believed in. In my opinion. But again, I'm not
talking every single person, but majority.
Let's check this out though. Let me offer perspective here, right? Because or maybe I'll play devil's advocate for a bit, right? You know, I think
racist.
Sometimes right. I think like Vince McMahon.
The devil. You say racism like Vince McMahon. Racism.
Oh, dude, Vince McMahon, dude, that's another thing. But anyways,
that's a whole nother time.
That's a whole nother, but if I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a bit, I think there's a couple things to look at, right? One, again, let me just state, I didn't like the way that they promoted this thing for themselves. I think I probably would have understood it more, or maybe appreciated it more if it was strictly on like some maybe gospel stuff, right? Like if it was really about morality and ideals and principles, then I probably could have been like, all right, they got elevation worship there, they got, you know, whatever, you know, worship teams and stuff. That I could have like, all right, you know. But I do agree to a certain degree on my own. I'm like, I don't like the way you did it because to me, all you're doing is stoking more division, right? But if I am going to play devil's advocate right quick,
devil out.
You know, there's another way to look at this, and it's not a pretty one because it unfortunately does, I guess you could say, feed the notion of division, right? But what if what they did was show that this is possible, right? Meaning, let's just say if I am going to sprinkle some of what let's take some of what Jake Paul's comment was, right? And let's just say the idea, Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What did he say? What did he say? I missed it. Oh, no, but
Who?
But let's just say if the idea, what they did show, is possible, and not that it's even, again, it's the greatest one of this scale, because I repeat, this isn't the first time something like this occurs, right? Like, again, I've been to plenty, whether churches, some even establishments, that where they're showing the Super Bowl, but then they have their own bands playing during the halftime show. They have artists performing.
You are worthy.
No, and I'm saying even outside
Hey,
of
Drewski just made a skit about what you're talking about, brother.
but I'm telling you, it's not, again, this whole TP, it's not the first time something like this has happened.
Yeah.
But whole point is that it's the first time on this scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, what if what is shown here, and the takeaway, it could be this, and again, this is just me playing devil's advocate, is what is the what's what I'm looking for? What is the reason, or what makes you feel so compelled that you feel you have to associate yourself with anything and everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if
that's a supremacy mentality, brother?
Or is it because, check this out, right? Now, I say this because when you look at, let's just say, and I can't remember off the top of my head the verse or where it comes from, right? But when you think about something like, what's that verse? I don't want to like misquote it.
No, it's all good.
Paraphrase it, and I'll research it for you, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know
so
it. Go ahead.
Paraphrasing it, because I'm gonna butcher this right now badly. And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? And maybe that's
badly bunny. No.
Yeah. But
badly bunny.
Bad bunny.
No, but look, Vega, look, just to kind of Pin.
Well, let me say, so he knows what to look for.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to
yeah. There's that part where Jesus says something like, I didn't come. He says something like, I didn't come to. I'll put it like this. I don't know what he said. He said something like, I didn't come to do this, but instead to cause division, blah blah, and father against son against father, blah 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 blah, something like that, right?
Well, he's basically what you're saying is the nations will go, brother will turn against brother, the nations will turn against nation.
So yeah, and I say that though, right? Like, that's what's interesting about that, right? Like, I obviously it almost seems like it's contrary to the rest of his message, but there's something profound about what he's saying here, right? And that's that. And again, there's other references that kind of are similar, right? In the sense of that they will reject you because you are one of mine, right? So there is clearly this, and even like, let's put it like this, even when we get to the finish line, right, of how this all ends, it's the same thing, right? Those who, like he made it clear, those who don't accept whatever, blah, blah, like, right? So there is but let me not get too far ahead.
Let me tell you real quick before.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a point on this verse. It's Matthew 10:34-36.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and a person's enemy will be those of his own household.
So, boom. There's two things I want to focus on here, right?
I interpret that verse way different than probably most people.
Well, right. There's things to look at here, like interpretation wise, right? Like, it's not just one thing, right?
Exactly.
But for what it is obvious, right? Like what he is saying, right? But like, even looking at that, there's two things I'm looking at. One is prophecy, right? Things have to fulfill themselves regardless, whatever our intentions are. You know what I mean? So again, obviously we're talking about unity, love, and all that, but nonetheless, prophecy has to fulfill itself, right? So our best intentions sometimes will just be for nothing because prophecy has to fulfill itself, right? If this is what Jesus said is going to happen, then this is what's going to happen, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's for nothing though, Vega.
Well, no, right. You're right. I'm not.
Because,
I'm saying it.
like you said, remember earlier, love wins. But if you remember, I said there's a time for war, and just in context,
no, exactly.
right?
It's never for nothing. 100%.
From a spiritual standpoint,
yes,
right?
No, 100%.
You get what I'm saying?
I guess what I mean is like
mentally.
Yeah, like the inside of your brain.
Mentally.
But what I'm saying is that things are gonna
sorry.
You know?
Sorry, mentally.
But,
let's chop it. Let's chop it.
Second to that, then it's apart from just prophecy having to fulfill itself, right? Is that if you, as much as we like the idea of everyone coming together, some sort of kumbaya circle, back to the human nature, like we were talking about, this is what it comes like. We're inclined to tribalism almost, right? Like not almost, but like that's just. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, and again, this is me trying to play devil's advocate, right? I'm just trying. If I can try and understand something here that maybe we're not looking at. We're looking at it from the perspective of it's wrong to disassociate yourself if you believe in something different, right? But what if that's also just truth in nature, right? And again, because why else would son go against father, daughter against mother, whatever, blah blah blah. And again, I'm just using that one for now. There's other ones I can think of.
Righteous versus unrighteous. That would cause a division in my eyes.
Exactly.
Just
that in itself as well.
Answer your question.
That too, for sure. That for sure causes division.
That's right? The only way I can put my sword to my brother if he was unrighteous in the culture or the way.
Now check this out. This is why I say something to consider here is that what was shown with what they did, whether we agree or not, whether it was righteous or not, what it proves though is that you shouldn't be afraid to disassociate yourself if you do know that you're trying to walk the righteous path and your brother isn't. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that you shun people away, right? That obviously that's counter the message of the gospel. That's not what that means either. But sometimes you do have to draw a line, right? And
the word was very specific on Matthew when he said, "I didn't come to bring peace at that moment."
Well,
I came with the sword. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but isn't that's still true to this day? Is the whole point? Like that keeps from that moment when he said. Here's actually even the reality.
I'm agreeing with you, Vega. I'm just adding potency. That's all. I'm adding potency to the fact that again, from a human nature side, right? This is what gives power. When you're not able to differentiate the word from emotion, and we live in a stimulated world where everything, information comes quickly, all day, every day.
Right.
But in our culture, right, the ones who tap into the ancestors, and it could look a certain way. This is just a body, fam. This is just a representation of what is truly internal. You see what I'm saying? When someone's sick, you can tell because they're bogged. So it's a representation of their internal, right?
100%.
And what we see a lot of times is, and I'm just gonna add a little context and I'm gonna shut up. But this is the battle we face every day. It's like one man's word against another man's word, one man's culture against another man's culture, one moral, one practice versus another man's practice. When ultimately, God says that we are all a sand on a beach. We will return. The beach is much bigger than the pebble of sand. So we go through this life trying to understand, because generations have come before us in ways of establishment. The way we think to survive every day isn't the way that people have thought to survive generations. You see what I'm saying? So it's easier to manipulate as you go along because They want you to believe what's in the current times instead of staying righteous to what you already know. Like you said, love wins. There's going to be a time for war. There's going to be a time to appreciate. There's going to be a time to get rid of things. These are the basic principles of human nature. And then when you talk about spiritually, you literally have to tap into a different side of existence. And that's the side that a lot of people negate because we joke about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? We minimalize it to Christianity. We minimalize it to Catholic belief. We minimalize it to being a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? All these other things. But if you're internal with God, period, you know, if you had a child with a woman and you've created life, there's something that you're going to understand deeper than somebody who may not have done that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's a different aspect of life that you can break down.
Right.
It doesn't mean that this person that hasn't had that doesn't understand your version of life, but you're going to come from a deeper place when it comes to articulating what that means, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, make no mistake, what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to offer a perspective here that we're not looking at, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with everything, you know?
All right, real quick. Since we brought up Bible, we got a Bible real quick. All right. So the context of the scripture, before all that, Jesus was talking about do not fear, right? Don't fear anything. And then after talking about bringing the sword and not peace, I'm just going to read it to you. He says, whoever is about picking up your cross, whoever loves your father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. And then he starts speaking about the reward. You know, whoever receives you receives me. So now it's like what I gave you. Now that I'm in you, you can dish out, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna reveal me at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you're a part of it, but you're gonna reveal me since I'm in you. The one who receives a prophet because he is a prophet will receive a prophetic reward. Right. And the ones who receive a righteous person because he is a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward. And whoever gives one of these little ones even a cup of cold water because he is a disciple, truly I say to you, he will by no means lose his reward. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it kind of breaks down fully, like in the biblical standpoint of everything. At the end of the day, neither side is really going biblical. Let's keep it a buck. You know
but that's not I guess you're missing the point. That wasn't the point I was making. The point I was making.
I just want to give context of what
the but see, even that didn't change anything really. Here, I'll put it like this. Like, notice that he said, like, right, he follows with the whole he who loves so and so more than me, right? So he's drawing a distinction, right? So the point I was making, right, is now, again, not that we have to agree with why TPUSA did it. I'm not saying that, right? Like that, I obviously don't agree with how they went about promoting how, you know, why they did this, right? The all-American halftime show, like, you know, creating a divide, right? But I guess what I was also trying to say, like, so according to how they went about it, the judgment is there, right? Like I can judge you according to how you did this because this is what you did, but I guess the perspective I'm offering here is to say that not or causing a divide isn't always bad either. I guess that's what I was trying to point out, right? Like we can disagree with how they did it and why they did it, right? What I was trying to point out is that, but they showed something here, and that's that if you have enough spine, you know, and enough.
I mean, even Jesus brought division. You know
that's what I'm saying. You will stand on your principle. You will stand on your you know, your, let's just say your righteousness. You will stand on your relationship with Christ. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And if you do so, and that's why there's a division, right? And why you wouldn't, let's just say, subscribe to something like a halftime show that you know doesn't glorify God, right? Then it's okay. And what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that if there's anything to take away from what TPUSA did, is that if you're let's just say, if you are a church, maybe, again, I'm just offering perspective here. If you are a church, maybe
you You can listen to the pedophile.
Huh?
I said, if you are a church, we have a secondary thing. You can listen to the pedophile.
Wait, no, what?
No, go ahead.
You lost
it went over there.
Yeah, no, I know. No, I guess because it wasn't the point I'm making. I hear I know what you were trying to say.
No, I hear what you're saying.
My whole point is like you can now look and say, oh, if these people decided to do their own thing on that large of a scale, let's do it for the right reason to glorify. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, again, not saying that I agree with what they did, like and how they went about it. What I'm saying is what they showed is you can still do your own thing.
Yeah.
If you truly do believe in the righteousness of God, and this is what's truly your guiding influence or principle and inspiration in your life, right? If the word of God is that rules over, then it's possible is my whole point.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's the point I'm pointing out. It's not to say that I'm not saying that.
That's what they should have done. Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do it like that, do it like that. But this whole it's like a locked door and an open door, bro. It's like pick one. You know what I'm saying? Don't just keep shaking the door open.
You're leaving room for the wrong reasons to have a division.
Bro,
I get that. No, again, and that's not the point. I wasn't trying to.
No, I know. I'm just saying where I've been at. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Well, I get your point, 100%.
Right.
Let's be honest, gentlemen. I'm sorry. All right, look. Let's be honest, bro. I'm hearing this right now, and I just gotta say this, bro. Keeping on topic of America and the Super Bowl and why people are mad at Bad Bunny. And just bringing it, and I get what you're saying morally, and the Bible, and God we trust. It's in your intro song. It's on the dollar bill. Look, it's on my hoodie. I'm standing on money. You feel me?
Yeah.
But look, here's I just got to bring a dose of authenticity to it real quick. When you think of America and you think of it represented by the people who have an attitude, pale-skinned people with Bad Bunny, what do they emulate? What do they believe in? Booze, prostitution, colonism, all these other things. We can go deep into verses. We can go deep into, but I think the basis, and I'm just trying to minimalize it here because, again, I knew this was going to be a broad spectrum when it came to the conversation.
100%.
And we could literally have a 24-hour stream about this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at bare minimum, Vega, let me get this out. I'm gonna be quiet. Is when you look at your traditional, just peep game. When you go around the people that are talking the way that they're talking on these comments about Bad Bunny and the Puerto Rican culture, just take a second to think about what those people actually represent when they talk about America. What we have to do is not try to fall victim to what they've gotten us to think what America is, but let's have the conversation about what is America today. You see what I'm saying? And what's gotten us to this point. I think that's the most important conversation. Instead of living in the past ways, because honestly, we can go back into slavery in the Bible and the justification when slaves were getting whipped and people were referencing the Bible to justify their actions. I mean, again, we can go so many different avenues with this, but when we're just talking about the black and white of things, the Puerto Rican and white of things, I challenge anyone before you just ask that question, what are they representing that is so wholesome and so holy, regardless of what you believe, to get you to not appreciate someone else's culture? That's all I'm asking.
No, and again, I'm not.
At this point.
That's a good question. I'm not. We definitely deviated a bit for sure with the conversation we just had, right? Like, let's getting back to the Bad Bunny. That's a good question. Again, I think there's a couple of things here. You're right. The funny thing always when it comes to, and I'll say this, like any side of the aisle, there is the hypocrisy really is always baffling. It always comes back to that. To me, what I always think about is, when Jesus says, "Why worry about the speck in your brother's eye when you got a plank in your own eye?" And that's the issue I'm constantly seeing with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, in whatever side, whether it is like, let's say something like, this, we're going to put together an event that's all whatever American and the values of America. But like, to what regard, right? Because then, like you said, right, then when you look at who you're, I guess, using to represent that, well, they don't have the greatest track record either, right? So it's like, so is that really what we're talking about here? And again, it's I would say it's a very ignorant stance to take, because again, if that's what you're gonna stand on, then there's already cracks in your foundation, right? And what you're trying to place as a foundation.
You just said something crucial, brother.
Yeah.
Cracks in your foundation. I
100%.
think that's what that side, and not to interrupt, just to add a little more weight to what you're saying while you're saying it, is, in my opinion, that's really what they're afraid of. Is like, there's already cracks in your foundation. The world is evolving. And now it's hard to stand on what you originally founded, because we see that that's not the truth of things. Whatever you tried to, you know what I'm saying, put in front of our eyes and get us to believe that this whole thing was about, realistically, the problems that you have to deal with within your own culture supersede or might even be equal to what you're complaining about.
Yeah, no, I think that's I think that's true. No, I think that's actually true on all sides. Like, I think that's the I believe that's the problem in the equation we're given right now, right? Is that there is cracks all around, right? But that's because I believe, let's just, I guess I don't want to go too far off with this, because I do want to get back
off.
I do want to get back to the Jake Paul comment and all that, and
right.
The Toronto stuff, whatever.
Right.
But I'll say this, is that I think the issue we're facing here, and this isn't even just an America problem. I think this is actually a global problem. I think, obviously we're just focused on America because we live in America. But I think the reality is we're living in a world that is not submitted to that which what they should be submitted to, right? Meaning the love of Christ, right? If we're really, if you really believe God is the creator, and his plan and all that, then, there's too many things. And again, not just America, just in general in the world. I think that's what we're facing. I think that's the existential crisis, as you hear said a lot, that we're facing, is that there is a dilemma there, because we're coming into confrontation with the truth, in a sense, right? Like, and the truth, no matter how far you try to deviate from it, will always stand where it stands, and it'll always judge you accordingly, because it's the truth. And I think this is the issue we're facing here, right? Like, obviously, in America, period. I think that's the issue. Despite the fact that we consider ourselves a nation under God, but which God? You know what I'm saying? And what does your God look like? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like a broad statement. And this is why I said earlier, like, it means something when you have someone like Jelly Roll.
You said something very crucial. You don't see a Puerto Rican God in the church, do you? With a Puerto Rican robe on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I just wanted to put that out there. It's like, you said something, which God, and what does it look like? Very important when you understand culture, and then where we live. That's a heavy thing. That's a heavy thing to understand.
100%. Which is why I said it, right? Because that we have to understand that, right? Like,
imagery is important, brother.
Imagery is it's almost everything. That's how we see things. That's how we capitalize things, right?
Associate, right?
Right. So, these are things that matter, and hence why, again, I would say that problem of the cracks in the foundation is an overall problem for everybody. Or both sides of the fence, because, or wherever you stand, right? Because even to just make it seem like it's as simple as just one side over the other, like, no, like, there's multiple sides here, right? And the reality is the cracks are everywhere, and we lack the cracks everywhere. But that's again,
chop shop episode. Cracks everywhere.
We kind of already went deep, but that's a discussion for sure. But to get back to the Bad Bunny concert or the halftime show, and just how people, I guess, felt about it. Again, I will say this: I would understand the reservations prior to the show, I could understand the reservations. But if you're still talking that mess after the show, then either one, you didn't actually see it, or two, you're just being dishonest. Because there's just no way you're gonna come and say, "Oh, it was anti-America," or it was so divisive, or blah blah blah, whatever the case may be, because it was none of that, right?
Exactly.
Now, so I say that to even just to be a blunt and say I don't agree with Trump's comment on Truth Social. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would just say, like, if you actually watched it, which I have to doubt it at this point, because there's just no way you're gonna say that if you actually watched it. You know what I'm saying? And I would say, so either one, you didn't watch it, or two, you allowed yourself to be tainted by the preconceived thoughts of those that are around you into thinking that there was something to be afraid of here. Is this the actual comment right here?
This is what Jake Paul wrote originally.
Oh, this is Jake Paul one. Okay.
Yeah. So you want me to bring up the Donald Trump?
You don't have to. All right. But
do it.
Right. Show us as real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, like, it shows me either one, you really didn't watch it, or two, you're just influenced by those around you. To still think that.
Can I add something else, Vega?
Mm-hmm.
I come from California, right? That's where I was raised. So I just want to put this out there for people to understand. I come from the land of Hollywood, right?
Right.
I'm in the Mojave Desert, which is Kern County, which is, if you do the research, it's about 45 minutes from Los Angeles County. I've got countless times where I've went to LA and Hollywood. I've met a bunch of celebrities. I'm in that land. A lot of places that people want to come from to go to is where I've lived, Hollywood type area, right? And this is one thing that I've understood. Everyone understands things from coming from where they come from, right?
Right.
This is one thing that I've always understood about coming from where I come from. It's a lot of this shit is scripted, brother. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of these things that we pursue from a human standpoint, again, having a successful YouTube channel, having the right lighting, having a script, having a plan, it's all to the bigger picture of the practice of what we perceive to be successful, if we're talking about from a worldly standpoint.
Yeah. Right.
So again, just from that perspective, the way I look at it is Democrat, Republican, donkey, elephant, red, blue, blood, crip, vice lord, this, that. Yeah. From allowing Bad Bunny, and I'm just going from the height of my perspective, regardless of how we want to break this down.
Right.
Like you said earlier in the conversation, they allowed it to happen. And the way I look at it is, if it was so American, if it was so just one way of thinking, it's not like Bad Bunny just broke down the doors and was like, I'm finna do this. This is how I'm going to do it. Right. Nobody can say nothing about it.
Right.
It had to be presented. It had to be set up the way that it was set up. It was thousands of people training in hours. So they knew what it was, presenting it.
100%.
I think from a higher perspective, it's kind of what you said, brother, in the beginning. It's let's let this happen. Mm-hmm. Let's see what kind of divide this can cause, knowing the situation.
Right.
See what I'm saying? In the climate that we're currently in. So I had to add the context of where I come from, California and Hollywood. Yep. And then also tapping on what you, brother, said. It happened for a reason. So with that, in conclusion, I challenge the people that are upset about it is like, maybe you should go to the people that allowed it, bro, which is your people. Why are you mad at the people that had the opportunity to do it the way that they did it? Because they didn't just come in and kick the doors down. Those are your elites. Those are the people that you praise. They allowed it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. So I challenge people to think about that. What is the reason? Why? Why would they let it happen if it was that detrimental to the overall picture?
Right. Is this the comment?
This is what Trump said right here.
Okay. Ooh, hold on. I gotta maximize there. Yeah.
Maximus.
You
want me to read it to you?
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. It doesn't afford to the greatness of America. Doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is even saying. And the dancing is disgusting, especially for the young children that are watching from throughout the USA and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401k in history. There's nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show and watch. It will be a great review from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what is going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule.
That I agree with.
Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump.
There you go. So obviously, again, hearing that or reading that when I read it yesterday, I actually responded on there, to be honest with you. I'm like, I'm just, not going to let that one go. But, and look, this is somebody who voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm going to keep it a buck. I just don't agree with this.
Yeah.
Again, there's just no way there's just no way you can convince me that you watch the halftime show and still say what you're saying here, or unless you're just too involved in the politics of things.
Unless you're
Hey, real talk, bro. He says it clear. The whole reason why he says that is because he didn't understand a lick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
and he can't see. He was far away from the TV, bro.
But no, let's address this, right? Because
I can go to an opera and not understand what the heck she's talking about. But appreciate a great opera, bro.
100%. So that's why, like, I'm like, look, I can't, but I'll put it like this, right? Let's just address it. If he ever watches this, I just want him to. I'm just gonna. In case he decided to not read my comment, I'm just going to take the time to respond here and say there is nothing terrible about the show. It definitely wasn't the worst ever. Which again, there's things in the comment that I can agree with, right? Which when he talks about that part about the kids that watch, that is a problem, right? The dolphins.
Come on.
And I'm glad that Trump cares about the kids, but this is the same guy that said he can grab a snatch on national television, bro. Like,
no, right,
on, bro.
Again,
Stop it, bro.
It doesn't.
You gotta grab her by the snatch, like, bro.
It doesn't.
Shut up, bro.
Look. Again, me playing devil's advocate. I wouldn't even use that to combat it because I'm like, all right, maybe he's different from what he was then, right? If I'm gonna play devil's advocate, I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm not gonna hold that
different
against you.
Than he was then, bro.
Well, I'm saying like that statement to, like, you know what I'm saying, to now. Like, when's the last time you heard him talk like that? Is what I'm saying, referring to
every day.
He's talking about grabbing pussy all the time. No. I mean,
he just said it in this comment in a different way, though. It's totally disgusting.
Again, I'm just referring to him grabbing pussy. He hasn't said it since. That's all I'm gonna say.
I said snatch. So, no, I'm playing.
But right, to address it again, if it does face the same problem as most of the other people that are complaining about, and that's that you're failing to acknowledge that it's a weird way to look at it because you're failing to acknowledge that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. They are. It's a Commonwealth. It's U.S. territory. Puerto Rican history is part of American history. So you have this. There's this weird thing that you have. Like, I don't know, that you can't see here. That you would say such a thing when the very show, if we're really being honest, if it's obviously it's showing our culture as Puerto Ricans, but it's like if you had any sense, you would say, yeah, that's you would embrace it and you would say, well, that's part of the American story too. You know what I mean? If you had any sense. So it speaks it and again, we can go down the rabbit hole like, well, why can't you acknowledge this? Why can't you see this? Right?
It's very simple.
But I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there just yet.
I'll go there for you.
I'm just gonna say what he should have seen here, right? You should be seeing that this show is the fact that it represented the Puerto Rican culture, but you should be able to embrace that as part of the American story. Period. In the same manner that even in the mainland, right? If we're gonna say like, okay, yeah, well, Puerto Rico's a U.S. island, whatever, but even in the mainland, the reality is that there's many different cultures from the East Coast to Hollywood, as you said, to down south, all different types of languages and dialects, and so it's weird that this is what you're going to focus on, right? Like make it seem as if Puerto Rico isn't an American territory, and that we aren't citizens of America, of the United States of America. So it's weird that there's this disconnect there. There's that. So I would have challenged them to rather to awkwardly disassociate, actually embrace it. One, two, yeah, again, the sure, you're worried about the kids. Okay, I guess that's a thing. But like the problem is since when has that been the issue? Every Super Bowl show now has. I mean, dude, we saw Janet Jackson's titty. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's not pretend like, oh, it only.
And
again,
Justin Timberlake pulled it off.
And Justin Timberlake pulled it off. The white man.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't Soldier Boy. You feel me?
But
it was the nigga that said "Cry Me a River."
Hey, Usher didn't do that. Usher never did that move.
So many.
It wasn't Chris Brown, my dude.
It was JT.
Right, but that's false. Again, that's false righteousness to me. That's where that'd be my argument there, right? It's like, bro, like this has been the case for every Super Bowl since a long time now. You know what I mean? So to pretend like that the NFL should be concerned about kids or whatever, like, stop it. You know what I mean?
Let's just Michael Jackson, let's keep it a buck since the first halftime show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Keep it a buck. Here's one thing I would say to
Hold on, let me wrap up my thought here,
okay,
and then I'll let you address it because I don't got much longer. The reality is all I would say is this, is that, and then I will agree with him with the kickoff rule. I don't like the new kickoff rule, but secondly, I would say you fail to your whoever is around you failed you, because if you had a brain. And if you were capable of seizing an opportunity, there's two things you could have done here. Worst case scenario, for if let's just say if there's still doubt in your mind, right? And again, rightfully so, right? Because again, I understand that up to this point, Bad Bunny has proven himself to be very much a left-wing, proponent, right? So let's just say that's the concern, right? Like, you don't want to give props to him because maybe whatever, he's left wing, so you think it's a bad look. To the contrary, though, that's what they want you to do. What you should have done, again, if you had the right people around you, and if you just yourself would have thought about this properly, you would have looked at the show, realized like, oh, it wasn't really as political as I thought it was going to be. One, two, technically, and he's not the only one. I've seen other people even whine about this, right? With the fact that there were that he comes out with all these flags and representing all these countries. Let's just say let's just say there's a part of you again that you're like still like, oh, that was him being, anti-American. Let's just say that was your notion. You could have still trolled from the perspective of saying, oh, look, even Bad Bunny believes in the Donroe Doctrine, right? And for those who don't know, what that's referring to is the fact that the Monroe Doctrine, when he was president, is that the United States of America's interest is in anything that's happening on our side of the hemisphere, which is technically what they're doing right now. You could have played on that rather than like hate it and dismiss it.
Yeah,
you could have played on that, whether it was from a trolling perspective or if you would have just said like, hey, actually believe that's what he believes. Not that he believes in the Donroe Doctrine, but that he believes us as all countries from the Americas, that there should be something that can unite us. And if you truly believe this, that the American values, right, of we are the shining light on the hill, right, the beacon of hope, whatever, then and if that's what you feel why we have to, why we have an interest and a stake and a desire in what's happening with all these countries, then again, you could have acknowledged that with what was said here. And again, it's not saying that you have to agree with his politics, but there's nothing wrong with that's what you just can't say, is my whole point. Like, there's nothing you can really say that he did anything wrong with what he did, is my whole point. And you could have done the better thing for yourself or for himself, and that's actually just embrace what was done. Again, you don't have to agree with everything the guy says, because I understand, he's more left leaning, but to pretend like the show was left leaning in any kind of way, it misses the mark. Again, the guy went out of his way to promote love, promote unity between all these countries. Not obviously, apart from Puerto Rico and the United States, he names all the countries on the in the Americas, showing love. Period. Which, if we're the United States, and again, if your interest is our side of the hemisphere, you should have agreed with that. Period. And I'll end on that. That's all I have to say about that.
No, I get that, bro. Honestly, though, like if Trump's in front of me, right, President Trump, right, I think we forgot where we came from. Look, I serve my country because I love my country. I love my country. Why? Because look, anyone from around the world could come to America and become American. If any American goes to Germany, we're not going to be Germans.
Right.
If we go to Japan, we're not going to be Japanese. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen in any other part of the world. Right. But in America, you can come no matter your ethnicity, and you can be American and live the American dream. That's what makes us great. That's the thing that makes America great. And my man always says, let's make America great again. Well, you missed the mark because you don't even see the great things that make us great. You're trying to think of a business standpoint of it, which I ain't dogging it, but you missing the point of what an American is. America and being an American is opportunity and taking advantage of the opportunity that you can make for yourself. You know what I mean? You don't even need people to become you can do it on your own if you really want to put the work in. And that's what being an American really is. And it's just like, we missed the point. We're missing the point completely. You're making this about 401ks and stock, the best stock market ever. Technically, it's not. We had a better stock market in 2020 than we do right now. Let's keep it a bug. This year so far has been.
Was he referring in general, or was it to the NFL though?
He said the best stock market and 401k. That's what he said.
But like, referring to the NFL, because that's the part I
it doesn't say NFL. It just says and all the world, this shows is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records for every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like it's a straight lie, because 2020, I think that was like
well, that was the hype.
That's peak right there. That's peak candles. You know what I'm saying? That's peak candle dips. And unfortunately, like, we lost sight with this presidency and last presidency. We lost sight of what an American really is. And that's the unfortunate part, Mr. President. And that's where I'm coming from. This is why I have beef with a lot of things that you do say, because yes, there's great things that you have done, but there's something that you're missing. And that's what a true American is. You forgot where you came from. You forgot it's like your culture, and you're trying to make something new and build something new that can't be built, because history cannot be erased at the end of the day.
Right. And another point on the language part, for those that are stuck on, between him and everybody else that was stuck on it not being in English, the irony. And look, not that I have a problem with English. I mean, I'm speaking English. I don't care. But it's somewhat ironic that you're hung up on the idea of having to have something done in English, when that's technically a language that we've kept from the very nation that we freed ourselves from. So, like, the irony there, that's what you guys are hung up on. That our language is English, but still, like, if you really think about it, like, yeah, but that was the language.
Too lazy to make our own language. Too lazy. You know what I'm saying? We want to just cop off these, but do a little different.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like, you know, that's like more of a like a minute point, but it's still like just kind of funny to think about. Like, that's what you guys are hung up on, you know. But yeah, that I just feel like that needed to be addressed. Obviously, you know, just so that people understand, because I know maybe the outlook is always that, oh, we're always speaking about the good things. Like, no, I'll point out the bad things too that I disagree with. Point blank. Period. That's just what I want to put out there, and that's why I was like, you know what? No, this is important.
That's why we're independent. You know what I mean?
That's why, yeah, exactly.
I don't rep Dem or Republic.
I will say now with that Jake Paul situation, right? That one was kind of funny. It's I will say this. If I'm gonna play devil's advocate,
again,
I'll do it.
Yo,
I could be the devil for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, bro.
I'm gonna be God's advocate. No, but go ahead. Like, come on.
No, but just because I know that
comedy.
I put out this. Everybody, for the most part, obviously had their outlook, and I assume you guys are probably on the same page. I assume just from things we were saying earlier. I would say this though. I didn't for once think that he was ignorant enough to think that Bad Bunny wasn't an American citizen. I didn't think that. I never took that was the statement he was putting out there. Because it's almost like an oxymoron. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about a guy who moved to Puerto Rico, lives in Puerto Rico, promotes Puerto Rican fighters. He's done a lot for the Puerto Rican boxing gyms in Puerto Rico. He's, you know,
you should know
Serrano for sure. You know, he's been her highest proponent in her corner, and not just her, but just women boxing in general.
Yeah.
So this idea that he's this goofy guy who just, you know, so stupid he doesn't know. Like, I don't think that's the case. I didn't think that I never thought that from the initial comment, right? Like, which. He goes on to further explain exactly what I knew it to be, right? And that's that his problem with Bad Bunny was the political side of things, right?
Yeah.
That he believes, you know, Bad Bunny is anti-American, right? So I knew that from the jump. I'll say that. And that's
Did you see this though? Like, you see what AI has to write right here? It says readers added context they thought people might want to know. People who live in Puerto Rico have been identified as U.S. citizens since 1917. They had to even put it there for people, bro. Like,
dude, that's the crazy part. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless,
Jake Paul though.
I don't think that was, again. I knew for a fact that wasn't what he was saying. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's somewhat of an oxymoron or redundant to for that to have been the case if that was the reality. You know. So in my opinion, I knew that it was him just referring to Bad Bunny's politics, you know. But again, not that I agree with it. Again, to me, I think what people fail to realize is, like, look, I get that there are somewhat, I guess you could say, anti-American sentiments, right? You know, which obviously he's referring to. You know, let's just say if you're an American and you are, let's just say, pro deportations and all that, and then you have Bad Bunny, who's obviously opposite of that. You know, I can see why you think that that's anti-American, whatever, right? Maybe you're talking. Maybe he's considering, you know, that there's that song, right, that Bad Bunny has that he hopes that Puerto Rico doesn't become like Hawaii, right? And maybe that's what he's referring to, right? Like,
I mean, he said in a post too. I was trying to find it, but I think he deleted these posts. But he said that the main thing was, if you have problem with like ICE and like law enforcement in America, that's what I'm talking about and we're referring to. You say ICE out, so you have no respect for
so there you go. Okay.
For, you know, say police officers, whether they're federal or, you know what I'm saying, like town officers, you know what I'm saying? And so, or sheriffs, you know what I mean? That's what he said. So that's what he was saying after this comment right here. And then after that comment, he put, "Guys, I love Bad Bunny. I don't know what happened on my Twitter last night. What did Schmeal?"
So that's where the joke is for me. That's where I started laughing when that came out, because I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, just stand on business, dog. Like, I
double down, triple down, and then wrote this.
Right. And I think those are the comments that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that's
here it is. I'll read it to you. To clarify, I wasn't calling anyone a fake citizen because they're from Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico and I love Puerto Rico. I have used my platform to support Puerto Rico time and time again and will always do so. But if you're publicly criticizing ICE, who are doing their job and openly hating on America, I'm going to speak on it, period. That's the same reason I called out Hunter Hess. If you benefit from a country and the platform it gives you, but publicly disrespect it at the same time, that's what I mean about being a fake citizen. And I agree. Love is more powerful than hate. Love America.
So he could have ended it there, is my whole point.
He could have.
So like this whole, I don't know, that one came out and I'm like, what are we doing here? I don't know how to take it, to be honest with you. I'll be honest. Like, I still don't really know what we're reading there, what we're looking at. I don't know if that's him being facetious and being funny. I don't know.
To me, it's treading the middle line. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, these guys are influencers. These guys are dealing with major funds and American corporations. They have powerful relationships with people that matter, bro, and the culture we live in. But here's where I break it down, and I've been listening, and I know how I feel about where I come from. Prideful of America, served my country. It's a small percentage of people that have. Even some of the guys that are talking with these big nuts about how they support America never served their country, bro. Never been in a position of law enforcement. Never did any of those things they're talking about. But if you talk to the people that have, those would be the first ones to tell you that they bought into a system that they loved, but at the same time was full of corruption. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Those are the same people that say that they started out believing in it a certain way, and now they have PTSD because they've seen things within that system that have changed their perspective for life. It doesn't mean that they disrespect it now. It just means they have a different outlook on it. And I think hearing what we're talking about, Kings, brothers, is that we can believe whatever we want. You can have as much pride in something as much as you want, but it goes back to the conversation of right is right and wrong is wrong, bro.
Exactly.
Straight up. If it's not that we don't respect law enforcement, when we need them, when we call them, you might go through 90%, 95, 99% of your life, whatever, without ever having to dial 911, bro. But the minute you call them and they show up and they take your loved one to a hospital or stop a robbery and they work in your favor, cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Firefighters, all that. We respect it. But what about all the other ones, bro? What about the ICE officers and the police officers that are abusing that power and abusing their authority and killing innocent people and involved with malicious activities with inmates and things like that in the name of America? Like, are those the things that we bring up? So it's kind of like, I feel like people are American when it benefits them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying this is the right thing to represent, which is truly American, and this is the wrong thing to represent, even if it does happen to be American as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the fine line though between, even I would say this, when we're talking about that, like I would say there's a couple things here. One is, and I think this what makes this hard from both sides of the fence, right? Because you know, from one angle, you know, it would seem like, oh, like, yeah, these people are just focused on like the good things that are happening, but they never say what's badly happening. But from the other side, it's the opposite, right? They're only looking at the bad thing that's happening. They're not reporting on the good that's happening. So unfortunately, there's this like information war of the battle of who can put out the opposite information more than the other, right? So, you know, again, you'll have, let's just say, and I think this is why people, unfortunately, you'll have people that feel the way they feel, right? Like a Jake Paul, right? Or someone like a Bad Bunny, right? Like from Bad Bunny's perspective, he's probably only looking at the negative media around ICE. So he's going to say something like ICE out, right? But then from Jake's perspective, he's probably only seeing the media cover all the negative things that that has happened with ICE, and then you have, and I think, if we're going to be honest, I think that side outweighs the side that are touching on the good things, right? I mean, you had a whole entire Grammy Award ceremony that was dedicated to making it seem as if ICE is some sort of Gestapo regime that has to be abolished, and that's been the rhetoric for like
drama cells,
it does, 100%, and that's been the rhetoric for a while now. So, unfortunately, this is what people are dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what makes it hard for people to have just honest conversations about this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like there is this like weird, again, information war happening, right?
Yeah.
Where you feel you have to focus in on the right things because you think they're combating, or they're only focused on bad things, and vice versa, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Though we're just going to point out the bad things, whatever. But then there is the other concept to that, right? Because that's me. I'm also just speaking on the more innocent version of this, right? The other version of this is the corrupt version of this, and that's that there's an intentionality to depict things in a certain light purposely, so that there's more fear, so that there's more dissension, so that there's more chaos, and I'd be naive to think that that wouldn't happen, when it just seems like that's constantly happening. It's nothing but bad news, and bad news where it's nothing but fear mongering. And again, this happens a lot on both sides of the fence, right? But unfortunately, if we're going to be honest, the media is more left, right? So it happens more on that side than it does in the tiny space of entertainment industry that the right does have a hold of, right?
That's not a tiny space, brother, respectively.
Yeah.
That's 95% of people's life. Entertainment, sports.
No, right. No, what I mean is
media.
What I mean is all that
consumerism.
Right? Yeah. What I'm saying is all that, right? Like, let's say everything you just mentioned, right? How much does the left have a hold on it compared to the right is what I'm pointing out. And to me, in recent years, it's been obvious that there's a more of a left hold on entertainment, consumer, whatever, all this stuff, compared to the right. It's like an 80-20.
70-30?
70-30 maybe, but 80-20, somewhere there. You know what I mean? Like, where it's easy for me to see why people, I guess, fall into the necessity, the traps of things, right? Like how they're emotionally manipulated, essentially. Again, depending whichever side you're on, right? Like, and even that's kind of silly to say, but that's just how I guess, people function, right?
They're trying to be ahead of the sexuals.
Yeah.
But hey, Vega, that just an extension of that, though, right? And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Actually, I'm not gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play angel's advocate.
There you go.
What if you don't care about any of that stuff? What if you don't care about? What if you're aware of the left side and the right side?
Yeah.
But you don't care about that. That's
you shouldn't, really and truly, in a sense, right? There's
what if you don't pick a side?
Yeah, no, well, that's how it should be, right? Like, there really should be no side to this, in a sense. Be free to conform your own thoughts. Be free to intentionally be critical of the things you're looking at and thinking about and seeing and hearing.
Your reality.
You know what I'm saying? And then obviously, like, as a man of faith, I would encourage you go further, right? I'm giving you the secular rules or guidelines, right? To that'll help you out. But then I would encourage you go further than that and establish the faith of in God and in Christ and into that, and that opens up even more, right? Because then you realize, oh, there's more important things to this, to what than what I'm being propagandized with. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's a word.
It is now.
It is now.
Propaganda night.
Yeah, propaganda night, dog.
Propaganda night.
The Oxford Dictionary, dog.
Write it down. If it ain't there, it better be.
Right.
You know, but yeah, you know, so back to the Jake Paul thing, I think that's what that is, right? He's, you know, people like him, and they're all victims, and even people that are on the Bad Bunny side of things, and align with what he thinks. The reality is they're all victims to what the media is feeding them, one, and then two, some accountability has to be on oneself, and that's that, you know, 9 times out of 10 you lean into what you want to hear, you know what I mean, rather than what you should hear and what you should be open to, you know. So that's, you know, so there's a accountability there for each individual as well. But again, yeah, all that to say that when it came to this Jake Paul post, I knew that that's where he was coming from, you know, like I knew that's what it was, what his whole thing was, and he should have stayed there, honestly, with that last comment. I really don't, again, but you're right. Obviously, I'm sure he has what's the word? Promoters and investors, and somebody has to answer to that said, yeah, you gotta clean up this little mess. Which
he could have been speaking in a moment of truth, and then he got a page real quick, like, hey, we need you to, you know what I mean? Straight up, bro.
That's what that looks like. That's for sure. That's exactly what that looks like. You know,
and we have to, and not to cut you off, bro.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
We have to associate, in the bigger scheme of our conversation, we have to associate that with, that's what America is, bro. You see what I'm saying? So when we have these questions about why would they, and when we open up social media and see the arguments about, because we don't have to agree with everything. And I think that's what people are trying to make it. They're trying to make it to where if you say something, I have to agree with everything you say. And if I don't agree with everything you say, then we're not the same.
Right.
Which is not true. Just like you brought me on the Chop Shop. We might have a difference of opinions, but when it's time for you to speak, I respect your hierarchy. I'll shut up. I'll listen. When it's time for me to interject, you give the same respect. I mean, that's how we should treat each other.
100%.
Right is right and 100%. Wrong is wrong.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
100%.
We can bring in all those other things, but that's a whole list. Like I say, pedophilia, you know, stealing, whatever.
Yeah.
Those all go on a list that we know are wrong, but does it happen in all cultures and all ways?
Right.
Of course. So our job ultimately is to see that regardless of where we are.
Right.
Whether we're in America, Puerto Rico, that's why I say one is not right more than the other.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Because if we go over there, we'll see it too. And that's kind of what I was saying in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
That's one thing I hate about our particular culture is I see that being promoted more when I know, like, the bloodline. Like, bro, I literally, in my ancestry, I don't feel that. So when I see it being represented, it's like opposite. Like, I know you're me, but dang, you feel what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. No, I know what you mean.
So it would be the same when I look at it from an American standpoint. It's like, bro, I'm glad to serve this country. I'm glad to work hard, work for my money, get up and do the. But when I see this, even for my own people, like black, whatever, white, it's like, I can't.
Right.
I can't rock with that, bro.
Right. No, 100%.
Or lean with it. For real though, I can't lean that way, dog. I can't lean. So
like if I gotta go out like that, cool. I don't want to understand. I don't want to understand why you did that, because I feel it in my spirit that that's a corporate thing, bro. Like,
that's right. That's right.
I don't have to do that.
No, that's 100% right, man. Again, it's that we have to realize that there's a bunch of, what is it, like a million, over a billion people, whatever the number is. The reality is we're not all going to see eye to eye on things, you know. I think what's clear is that they're trying to make this culture where, like, either you agree or you don't, and if you don't, then we're gonna make your life a living hell.
Yeah, you know? You're an American all of a sudden.
You're all of a sudden an American, or I don't know, whatever word. It's always these words that they use to, like, disassociate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, oh, you're bigoted, oh, you're 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 this phobic, you're that phobic, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, damn, hold on. Well, what about just hearing out what I have to say? You know what I'm saying? And before you come and judge me, you know what I'm saying?
Illegal.
Yeah. Yo,
You know?
and retrospect, bro. Look, I'm in the trucking industry, so we know kind of how it is with the.
Yes.
I work for a foreign company, bro. Just to kind of add more to the conversation is like,
yeah.
I don't have a problem with truckers. I look at people, and back in the day, it was a different archetype of trucker, right? You didn't really
Right.
see colored people, whether they be black, Mexican, female. It was like one archetype: fat white man with coveralls. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was, bro. You didn't really see a lot of culture within trucking, but the industry has changed, and
It's
then
changed a lot.
now we've got to a point where it's almost being overtaken by the foreigners because of Biden's policies, what they're talking about, right? And things that I had no control over, but I'm aware of. Just the whole democratic allowing people to come from foreign lands and establish themselves here. So it's been overran, it's been oversaturated. You see all the accidents that's happened on the news about foreigners killing innocent people because they can't pass the English proficiency test. They can't they're just doing all the wrong things. So what I'm getting at is even working for a Punjabi company and even seeing other people that are my peers at these truck stops, that when I look at them, I know for a fact, like, they might not belong here. I'm not going out of my way to create radical posts and say, these are the reasons why this is happening. I know in my mind they're not doing it right. I know in my mind I'm established. I have the right credentials. So I guess that's what I'm getting at. It's like the hate isn't, I know what the problem is, and I feel some kind of way from a human standpoint because I'm like, maybe they are taking certain opportunities away that I've earned and that I continue to represent to this day, right?
Yeah.
But the hate isn't so bad to where I go and bash them for it is what I'm getting at.
No,
you know what I'm
100%,
saying?
100%. No, exactly. There's a way to conduct yourself and speak on these matters.
Because it's out of my hands type thing.
Exactly. No, 100%. Exactly. So, and that's I would say that's how everybody should be looking at anything you're disagreeing with on a political level that that's out of your hands, or even on an industry level. Sometimes you work for a certain boss and things don't go your way. What are you going to do? It's out of your hands. You know what I'm saying? But don't hate on the person that came up, off of
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just all right, well, you got it. You know what I'm
saying? Exactly. You're in America. You might be snaking by, and they might not catch you right now. But knowing that I'm doing things the right way, knowing that I've always been established, the way that your culture is going about it, and the things that are happening within your culture that you tried to bring over here is being highlighted more and more each day to the point where literally it's affecting the industry as a whole now. Like, you basically brought light on yourself because of how bad it is.
Right.
Like there was a point in time where you had a pathway to it. It was perceived negative, but what I'm saying is if you're not in the righteous place and doing it the right way from your credentials, you might make some money temporarily, but in the long run, it's going to get exposed and it's going to get it's going to be seen on a.
Look at Minnesota. Look what happened in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's coming out to the light now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could only go so far. You know what I'm saying? Actually, a lot of things that are being exposed right now, right? Like, we're talking about. I mean, you could even say that's the truth, even with the Epstein files. You know what I mean? Like, a lot's coming out to the light. What's in the dark always comes out to the light. Period.
Had it forever, pal.
So if something is corrupted, it could only be corrupt for so long. People. I just feel like the way the law of the spirit, I'll put it like that, the way that it operates, truth, no matter what, truth will always prevail. Hence why also I think love always prevails, no matter what, But you're right, Prince. The reality is it's not your job to hate on and on anybody in that circumstance. You got to just do your best to make sure that you're living upright. You're setting the standard for yourself and those around you. Um,
And know that I come from this opportunity, this land of
yes,
opportunity. Like, I am American. So I don't care if you're President Trump. I don't care if you're Obama. I don't care if you're JFK. You can't make me feel un-American from the
right,
opportunities that I've created for myself, and I'm still living to this day. Like, people used to say that, like, oh, this person's president. I ain't gonna lie. I was telling my mom this one time. I said, I'm gonna be real. In some way, it affected me,
right,
but it was so minute that I didn't realize it because I was too busy getting to the money. I was too busy working.
yes,
So when I put
yes,
myself in a certain category, which is the middle class,
right,
again, maybe inflation went up a little bit from the politic world. Everybody's waking up and talking about eggs went up $3, but
right,
I'm so focused on what is American. Get up, get off your ass, go get a job, make it happen.
yeah,
That those
yeah,
little changes didn't affect me, is what I'm
right,
saying.
right,
And now that I'm almost 40, I realized how minute that is to me. It's like, as long as you do, like Penn said, what the American dream is, it's always going to be people to replace ideologies and things that happen in the current moment. But
right,
where's the culture of who we are? Are you living that culture? Are you manipulative, or are you getting up? Are you finding a shortcut, or are you
right,
actually getting up and doing what we were established to do? Are you working every day, or are you
right.
just talking about it, bro?
Yeah, no,
See what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yep.
That's
I
the
mean,
culture
look,
of it. And in Bad
who
Bunny's situation, he came from where he came from, brought it over here, and people are mad about it. And it's like, how, bro?
yeah,
This man
no,
came from the trenches. You feel
came
me?
from the trenches, man.
I don't agree with him kissing men on stage. I don't. I don't
Right.
agree with none of that. But there's a lot I don't agree with, bro. What I
hmm
do know is he's Puerto Rican, my nigga. So at the end of the day,
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm a
He's
salute
Puerto
that,
Rican,
bro.
and like
I'm
you
a
said, you're
salute
right.
that. Feel me?
You have to salute his success. I've always said that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, I don't agree with everything the man's done, but one, I can't deny his talent. The man's so talented. He's so creative. I mean, dude, I mean, the show, uh, whatever you think about who he is and what he does, I mean, dude, that show was immaculate. You know, the effort that was put into, just putting on that kind of show is just it's and you know that he had a say so in this stuff. And look, shout out to Jay-Z, right? Because also he's the one in charge of this,
Yeah.
right?
Rick
So shout
Nation.
out to Jay-Z, you know. And then even back to what you were saying, like one of my favorite lines from Jay-Z, I want to say it's Oceans, right? It's Oceans from the Magna Carta, and he says, Democrat, nope, I so dope. In troubled waters, had to learn how to float. That's like that's to me always
But
been the
see
mentality.
but that's cool, right? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
whereas the new thing is now, at least in my mind, and somebody might call me crazy coming where I'm coming from, that's
Uh-huh.
never been cool to me. Selling dope to the hood has never been cool.
Right. So
You see what I'm
it's not
saying?
right. So
But
he says the dope part, but the part that I actually focus on is the in troubled waters had to learn how to float. It's this mentality. It's that mentality of like you got to get yourself out of the mud. You know what I'm saying? You got to like grind. You got to work hard.
and in America, that's what you had to do: sell
And that's what
dope. And a lot of women out here selling ass, brother. You get what I'm saying?
That's what
To
I'm saying.
just
That's
get
the
by, just to
unfortunate
get by,
truth. Yeah,
just to
just to
get
get
by.
by. Yeah, exactly. So
And
like
let me say
I
one
can
more
never judge
thing.
anybody. Uh-huh.
You ever heard the saying "only in America"?
Yeah, yeah,
There's a reason why they say that, bro, because it all goes back to the beginning and the end of this conversation. We can
yeah.
justify it however we want to, but
hmm
until we look at ourselves as a nation, and this is what they're failing to do, they're picking and choosing what's right and what's wrong, because the reality is we're becoming so diverse in America that
Right.
they're the minority now.
Yeah.
And this has been coming for years. The white man, and no disrespect, if like I said, I got love for all my, but this is the reality of it. I can acknowledge the fact that, and
Yeah.
when you're about to lose power, in a sense, the thing that they have that's powerful is their establishment and corporations. You feel what I'm
hmm
saying? The
Yeah.
legacies that they've given each other with these corporations over time and what they have control of. But as you said earlier, that can only last for so long, whether it's 400 years, whether it's 1,000 years, whatever timetable you want to put on it, it's going to get to a point where the culture supersedes one representation. And I think in the time that we're living in the short 100 years that we think is this whole life that is galaxies. It's only 100 years, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, these people have been living this type of civilization for centuries. So it's like, I think in this modern world, it's becoming more and more realistic that people just ain't rocking with that way no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for
And
sure. It's
and they're
like
creating
Ramsey
this,
in Egypt.
bro, and they're creating this division to where it's like, make a choice. Either you with us or you not, bro. You over there with the Puerto Ricans shaking during the halftime show, bro. That's not American. Feel me?
yeah. And I'll be honest, I
But they're
still
eating tortilla chips, guacamole, and drinking Corona while they're arguing with you.
no, yeah, exactly. But see, this is the reason
Feel
why,
me?
like, when I further think about that, that's why I'm convinced personally that this isn't the issue, right? Like, I feel like that's the issue presented, but I don't think that's the issue because it just doesn't make sense when you think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, think of, like, what you just said is key. Like, you're talking about a culture, country in general. Like, it doesn't matter what you are, you know, like black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Indian, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter because in the end of the day, we're all cross-pollinating culture, right? Like, we're eating each other's foods. We're, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm convinced personally that I really believe this. I don't think this narrative that we're seeing online is really what it is. I don't think it's true. Like, I don't think it, like, again, it's not to say that it doesn't exist, right? Like, in the sense of, like, that there are people that think that way. What I'm saying is that they're that it's such a minority that it's not even true, really, is my point, right? Like, you know, in the sense of, like, you know, you could, as a truck driver, same thing, right? Like, I've driven to different parts of the United States, right? And you meet all different types of interesting people, right? And you know, there's been parts where, you know, like, I'm like, man, this is kind of sketchy, right? You know, I'm definitely not from these pots over here, you know what I'm saying, boy, whatever. Like, it looks like that, right? That's the aesthetic, right? Nothing but, you know, these, you know, I don't want to get crazy, but, you know, just you know, what would probably appear to be like some sort of, like, white man, you know, I don't explain it, like, you know, down south trailer, whatever type
Yo,
aesthetic, right?
I know what you're saying, Vega.
And I'll go there, right. And exactly.
I've been called
Right.
that word getting out of a truck and in Alabama, and I'm going, what you mad at, bro? Like,
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm
you're
trying to get at
75, my man.
yeah.
Like,
But what I'm trying to get at is, there's been moments where even I've
and you
experienced both.
said you don't belong here. Like,
Right. No, I've experienced both of that is my point, right? That's what I'm trying to get at. Is that I've witnessed that happen to me, right? Where, like, they'll call me out or whatever. But if I'm gonna be honest, bro, with you, brother, and this is my own experience, and this is what I'm trying to get at. I feel like we all, the best of our judgments come from what we've experienced, period. You know? But what I can say in my own experience is that I've also witnessed areas that look like that I thought was gonna be that because I've been through that. And it played out different, you know, where I was received with hospitality. You know, we got into
but
conversation.
why is that? Let me ask you, why is that? From your perception.
I personally believe that it's that the idea that everybody thinks the same way isn't true. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, so let's just say, like, where was I?
While you're thinking about that, let me tell you my perspective of it. I've been in the same scenarios that you're talking about. And I walked into the diners where I thought they were going to poison my food. And I thought because I got an experience from one person, I thought it was going to be jacked up the rest of the night. But when I walked in there and put change in the jukebox and played a song that had nothing to do with where I came from, and I sat at the bar with respect and class, because that's who I am.
Right.
And I pulled, and they saw who I was, Prince the Trucker, and they saw that I carried myself a different way. That's when the respect came. And then that's when I realized I've placed myself in a certain bracket of America. I've placed myself in a certain importance of, no matter what you think, whether you're racist, whether you're this or that. See, you're really mad because I'm driving a truck like you. It had nothing to do with the fact that I'm black or I had dreadlocks or I'm Puerto Rican. What you can't get over is that it doesn't look like what it used to. That's what I had to realize over time, because when I walk in certain areas, it's a stigma, right? If you're a trucker, let's just be honest, you say you're a trucker or you've been there before, that's kind of the common perception is if you're a truck driver, you got some kind of money. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people will treat you accordingly unless you're just acting an ass wherever you go.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? If you're walking into a diner, again, you saw someone racist that day, it doesn't matter. Because when you walk into that place and they see, oh, you stepped out of this, or that's what you're doing, that's your purpose, they kind of overlook that, and they take the chance to get to know what you're talking about or where you're coming from.
Yeah, and that, but see, I think that,
and I live that every day.
Yeah, again, I feel like that happens a lot too, like that it happens in that manner. I will say there's been occasions where, like, I think it didn't take for me to, like, I'll put it like this: I don't think they saw that I came out of my truck, and honestly, like, when I would, drive, 9 times out of 10, I was comfortable as hell. Like, I'm not, I definitely wasn't your average truck driver either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the guy who's, dressed in I'll put it like this: even when I was driving, I never dressed the part. I was always trying to do me, no matter what. So, like,
exactly. Look, hey, bro,
t-shirt, shorts, Nike, you know what I'm saying? Nike chanclas on, dog. You know what I'm saying? That was me all day, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, Vega.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, bro.
That's who I was, no matter where I went, dog. And like I said, some of these spots, like, you'd be surprised. Like, you just come across that hospitality. Right? Yeah, nice. That's what I'm talking about. Got to represent. Comfortability, dog, is what matters to me when I was on the road. I like to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? You're driving for hours, so I'm not trying to be all, like, tightened up, whatever, So
I got my boots too.
You need your boots, but if it's snowing, I ain't gonna be out in chanclas in the snow. I'll tell you that much. So you got to come prepared. But all that to say that I think the American experience, if that's what we're gonna call it, I think it's just different everywhere. I think it's different everywhere. But I personally believe you're gonna come across more good than you do bad. That's been my experience. I've come across more good than bad. And that's that I've come across a lot of bad, on top of the fact that some of the bad was me, you know what I mean? And by the grace of God, I guess, my life experience just showed me that there is good, right? There is good. And I feel like that's the reality. I feel, or like, I believe that obviously the God in us is what's, there's always potential because there's God in us. You know what I mean? And the unfortunate circumstances of things that do happen negatively, I believe 9 times out of 10 happen due to the experience that we all go through, So I think that's what we're facing when we're coming across that. Like, and I'm talking about on a base level, right? On a base level. Right, because there's levels to this, right? Like, there's what we're living day to day, right? The people we encounter, and then there's, like, what's happening on the institutional level, what's happening on the industry level, what's happening on a political level, whatever, And I say all that to say that even in
I like institution.
Yeah. But in all these different things, is that I don't know if you tuned into the when it was me, I can't remember if you tuned in when it was me, Pin, and Peely, but we got into that whole, like, systemic racism thing.
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
And obviously my position is that I'm not too convinced that it's as systemically racist as it was projected to be in the conversation. I believe that there's people that are racist that could be in positions of power, that could be in positions of, let's just say, I don't know, importance, whatever. And that could be from, a governor, an alderman, whatever, the president, whatever, your manager, your supervisor, down to the base level of things, right? And I feel like, yeah, you're going to come across these people that you'll meet in life that unfortunately are driven and motivated by this, wrongful spirit, right? a spirit of deceit, essentially, and that exists. But I'm not convinced it's that big of a level. I feel like it's portrayed to be so because I feel that it causes more division if we believe that it exists still to the level that they make it seem, compared to where it really is.
Here's where I'll interject really quick with that, because I do agree with part of your sentiment, but I also agree to understand that this is kind of the basis of what we're talking about now. And I was talking to Penn about this conversation. I'm glad you kind of brought that up about the systematic racism and how things happen, because I feel like that's what they want to do, right? I'm Black and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I don't look at my past as a reason to say that I'm not here doing what I'm doing today.
Right.
I believe in what I believe in. I'm American to the point where I'm never going to make an excuse. I'm almost 40 years old. I don't care if I'm 50, 55, whatever the situation is, I'm a hustler at heart. So whatever my circumstances are, because I told you about how I'm numb to, I don't have control of everything.
Right.
But I am trained to the way of my lifestyle. I've never had to ask I've never had a roommate. There's just certain principles that I live by. I follow God. I don't follow man. I'm not perfect. I'm flawed, but I have my belief system. I say all that to say that it doesn't mean I don't acknowledge the fact that just because I'm doing those things and I know the history of being Black, let alone Puerto Rican, that when it kind of goes into that argument about being a trucker, and this is recent times, I live it now. I see that same sentiment because of the history in the past. Even though I would like to think in my world when I wake up, I'm doing the right things. This doesn't exist. I'm making X amount of dollars. I'm finna go get a new grill next month in Vegas. It's gonna cost me 26 grand. I could live this happy life. But there's always an example of somebody reminding me the fact that no matter how far you go in life, remember where you came from, boy. Like, you get what I'm saying? If it wasn't white folks that invented trucks, you wouldn't even be there. And as much as we would like to have this hocus pocus mentality of, I don't think it's that. That's why they want to get rid of the museums. That's why they want to get rid of the history, because it's kind of like, can we just get past that? And it's easy to say when it hasn't afflicted you. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to make excuses again in that argument. And this is what I was telling Penn. It happens to everybody, dog. Hence, the same thing with Bad Bunny, fast forwarding it a little bit, taking it out the Black conversation and talking about a different culture. Nobody really made it a big deal to defend Puerto Rican people until one of their own got there. And whether he's right or wrong, now they're saying, yo, we should just appreciate the culture. But you'll always remember the day that people said he wasn't good enough to be there. See what I'm saying? And it's kind of a disrespect to where you come from. You know what I mean? So you can't say that it's not systematic in the sense that you can't get past and achieve certain things. Because I do agree with you. We're far past that point. It's like we live in an information age. We live in an opportunity age. Even though we've had a hardened past and we have been oppressed and dragged down, honestly, we can work past that now. Like now you can get into a position where build yourself up, have a voice, get some money in your pocket. Like nobody's throwing a brick upside your head because you went to the library today. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I agree with that portion. But to totally exclude that, I don't think that there's a systematic system in place. It's always going to be that, brother. Like just like in the military, and Penn knows what I'm talking about when I say this term, SOP. It was always a standard operating procedure on how they went about things. And we were taught that SOPs are a living, breathing document, which means that it changes as information is acquired. So it can be this way of standard operating procedure this day. And then as they acquire information and logistic, it can change Wednesday. And we'd be like, yo, that's not what they were showing us Monday because it's living and breathing, my day. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, I'm going to be quiet after this point. But I just think that, again, we have to have a balance between being optimistic and wanting to see the better side of things and believing in the good nature of people and understanding that we have come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
But culturally, knowing where you come from, it's also important to not be hateful, but to recognize the fact that you come from where you come from, dog, and you should be prideful of that. And instead of saying that it doesn't exist, you should acknowledge that it does, but adopt a mentality to where you don't blame its existence. Because
so I would say this.
Wait, all right. I've been listening for about 40 minutes. I'm gonna say some things before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the topic. It's getting late for me. So, and it's real quick. I don't have much to say. Just been pondering what y'all been talking about. Yeah, majority of people are not racist in this world. Let's say less than 1% is racist. Out of 9 billion people, let's say 5,000 people are racist. It's too much racism. Let's say it's only 1,000. It's still too much racism. Let's say it's just one person. It's still too much racism. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people do have that racist mentality because of the past, because of what they experienced in their life. Everyone's different. I think hate has to end. I think love does have to prevail. I think Bad Bunny did a excellent job in like the full picture. This is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Love is more powerful than hate. And yeah, I think I stand by that. Like, we can't let go of racism. We shouldn't forget about it, even though a lot of people want us to forget about racism, what happened in the 60s. Like, they're trying to erase it, sort of like even the Germans didn't erase what happened with the Nazi stuff. They said, I'm sorry, and they asked for forgiveness, and they changed everything pretty much that had to do with Nazis or whatever until nowadays. And I see America trying to do that in different areas. They're not consistent with it though, but they're never apologizing to nothing, which is why we can't never forget about it. Even if they do apologize, like I think he gave the good example. Wesley gave a good example when he was here. Like, if your wife cheated on you, you're gonna have a hard time trusting her at the end of the day. Paraphrasing his words. So we just gotta end hate. Whoever's listening, we gotta end hate. Who cares? Like, Bad Bunny, it could be anybody in country. It could be, you were even saying K-pop, it doesn't matter, opera, whatever the Super Bowl may be. Like, whatever. Like, respect the hard work that goes into it. Salute to the culture that you represent, and hopefully I can learn something new. You know what I'm saying? And I was hoping at least our president would have that mentality for this. Unfortunately, he's a troll. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, same with Jake. He's a troll. You know, that's how he got famous. And trolls are always going to be trolls, and they know how to be relevant in the media.
True.
At the end of the day. So that's all I got to say, though.
No, that's true. Look, and let me say this. I think there's a misunderstanding too. I guess what I'm trying to point, like, and I that's on me. I didn't articulate this properly. I believe it's not that racism doesn't exist, and I'm not trying to undermine it. What I'm trying to say, and actually, this is what I'm trying to say, is that I think it's mostly smoke screen and mirrors. What I mean by that is that it's not about being optimistic about, that things are going to work out for the better racially, whatever, or something like that. Like, I think when we're looking at that, I think the problem is most people are not looking at the actual problem. And this is what I'm trying to point out. And it's that it's not, and I'll put it like this, this is true because history throughout the entirety of the entire world, in every demographic possible, the majority of these issues that occur stem from greed and power rather than racial equity. It's mostly been a class problem, a financial problem, a power problem. I would put it like this: even the religious problems have been more prominent throughout the entirety of history before racial issues occurred. And in fact, when you actually dig deep into when did racial class become a thing, it actually didn't exist until the 1800s. So that's what I mean when I say it's not really as big as people think it is. Historically, it's just that's what's been proven. There's uh there's other, I guess you could say, sins or malicious spirits at work that just have played a part in mostly every atrocity prior to the ones that we see the racial stuff happening. It's not to say that, again, I wasn't trying to say that it doesn't exist or that it or that it's we shouldn't look at it. What I'm saying is when, to me, the way I see it is they put such an importance on it because it blinds people from what the real problem is. Because it's if I can be convinced that if it's a race thing or there's like a race problem here, then you're off the hook of what's really taking place. And that's what I'm trying to point out here, because I feel like it's too easy. It's just too easy, right? To just be like, oh, it's a race thing. Because now I can't hold you accountable for what you're really doing here, and that's that you're being greedy and consolidating money and power to you for the sake of just being greedy. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with race. It's more just you being greedy and gluttonous and wanting more because enough is never enough. And now, because there's the illusion of that this is what the main problem is rather than what it really is, there's no accountability on what the real problem is. You know, so like even when you're looking at policies from any side of standpoint, right? You can lose sight of what's really taking place. And I mean, I'm even from let's just say even from the perspective of just maybe something actually being good done, right? But if I can convince you that, oh, this is a racial issue, all of a sudden what is good that's happening now you can't see it because the focus is race issue. Like it's this is the problem. So this is what I mean when I say like the narrative created around it is what I see. But it's not to say that it doesn't exist, right? Or that or again that it hasn't happened in the past, right? It's not to say any of that, right? Again, I'm not trying to say that it doesn't exist or that it's never happened. And yeah, like we should never forget like the journey that it took to get here, right? The things that are people from from before our time, what they had to go through, the challenges they faced to why we are where we are now. 100%. Like there's no you can't erase that. It just is what it is. But again, it's that we can. I think, as you stated, Prince, that the agreement is that obviously we're not where we used to be. Obviously, there's plenty of opportunity, no matter where you're at in life, if you've have the willpower to do it. So that's one aspect. But again, what I was really trying to tackle, and again, this is probably my failure to articulate it, is that I just believe there's bigger forces at play that truly dictate the schemes of both sides of the fence. Again, whether it's something good happening or something that's corrupt, that is the first indicator before it even derives to race. And again, I say that because when you look at the world is made up of many rich, and you don't actually put it like this. You don't even have to look at the world, right? Like you can even just look in the United States. When you look at the races of the ethnicities of success in the United States, the white man isn't on top. That's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? You could look that up. So it's like, so that's what I'm saying. I can't, the narrative. That's why I feel that narrative is used. Again, it's not to dismiss that it does happen or that it exists or whatever, but the way that the narrative's pitched, I believe, is a guise to divert from the real problems and where the problems do lie, or sometimes again to divert from actually seeing a solution that's occurring. That now you're diverted by the race thing, or the whatever the case may be. But again, I say that just because there's just too much evidence that kind of points away from that being the main monster, I guess you could say, or the main.
It's more like the main distraction
that's what I'm trying to say. That was the point I was pointing out. Like that's what I was trying to articulate. But it's not to undermine that it has happened or that it does occur. And again, so yeah, if we're talking about let's like as we did with Peely, right? There are certain rules that were systemically put there in the NFL that somehow played a part up until now. You know what I'm saying? Like 100%. That does happen, but it'd be crazy for me to say, yeah, everybody who works in the NFL is systemically part of that system, corrupted by it. Like that's a little now too far for me to go into that realm of thinking, But yeah, I agree with the fact that it exists. We can't forget the past. I'm there with you guys. Again, my articulation was what I was trying to just say, that I think it's a smokescreen, a mirror, more often than it is an actual problem. Or the actual problem. Not that it's not a problem, but it's that it's not the problem in every situation.
The best way I can interpret what you're saying, Vega, honestly, is when you hook up a diagnostic to a car, right? It'll throw you multiple codes, and each code could represent something different to a huger problem, right? So I get what you're saying as far as, again, trying to say that most people are tired of hearing that conversation. Most people are tired of racism being the reason why people can't come together. And when you look at facts of the world, of different parts of the world, because if you're talking about America, for the most part, white men are on the top when it comes to money.
No, they're not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not. Like, look it up. It's
if you're talking about different regions or different portions, I mean, if you can fact check right now, just show me something.
I'm gonna look at right now.
I can appreciate that.
I can tell you that I think the top ethnicity of the most wealthiest people in America, I want to say, were either Chinese or Japanese, or it was Asians. It's not even. Yeah, it's not. Cool. As a matter of fact, the white man, I think, was under. White man, the white ethnicity is, I think, if I'm correct, in
America?
Yeah, this was in America, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna find it for you. I forgot where I saw it. But
cool. But just to end the point of what you're saying, and what I was understanding is that, there can be diagnostics and different codes to the problem, but it's a bigger problem. If your engine's failing, there's different reasons why, and I feel like, and this is my opinion, I know it exists. And it's simply the reason why we had this conversation in the first place. Current day, I think Penn also included something that, maybe it's less. Maybe there are more people that are in unity now than there ever were. And that's what we should focus on. But to just say that, I don't think that's the problem, because it's a tired issue to talk about constantly, knowing that it's part of the code of a bigger problem. It's just something that someone who sees it every day, even when they're trying to be oblivious to it, it's just hard not to acknowledge. I don't think that it should be the focal point, because I do believe there's a lot more unity on the surface, but it still is a problem. And again, that's why we're talking about what we're talking about as far as Bad Bunny and the whole situation, because why else, other than his culture and where he comes from and who he is, would you say that that's disgusting? You know what I mean? Like, we can back these people, but it's still the diagnostic to the bigger problem. And that's all I have to say.
I just think all this proves that the secondary Super Bowl halftime show is just not a good look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
what it proves, bro. It's just not a good look.
No, yeah, I think we all agree on that. It wasn't,
because these conversations can go any of these directions. What you were referring to, Prince, earlier, and said, like, we could go. There's a bunch of branches we could steam off from this, just from the Super Bowl thing, But at the end of the day, it's just not a good look for them fellas over there, man. Not a good look of how and why they're wise. It's just like,
yeah, no, agreed.
Not a good look.
Agreed.
Hey, but I have to dip out because it's midnight.
Yeah.
I wake up
okay.
Early.
Did you want to touch on the Bears thing right quick or no?
We could touch on it next time because it's not official.
Okay, true.
Right, they're just getting closer with Illinois, with the government, and
right,
trying to make a deal for Arlington Heights. So it looks like Arlington Heights took the lead, but nothing is confirmed just yet.
Nothing's confirmed just yet. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll say that for the next time. Hopefully, by next time they have a decision made. Jesus,
they're gonna need to do it this month if they want to stay in Illinois. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, there's really not much outside of that. That's new. They're just they're in the negotiating phase still.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Well, fellas, one hell of a discussion. Always a good conversation here on the Chop Shop. I thank you guys for being here with me, chopping it up. You know what I'm saying? And until next time, so the next big thing happens, we'll be here, man. Prince, appreciate you, brother, for hopping on with us.
Hey, Vega, thanks for having me, man. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys in the comment section. Pin Boricua para siempre.
Ya tú
Para que
sabes,
tú lo sepas.
Ya tú sabes,
nene.
Ya tú sabes.
For everyone else who tuned in, appreciate you guys. Much love. God bless. Peace out. Until next time.
I want you to stand up tall and proud. I want you to speak up clear and loud. Brown baby.
Pensando cómo lo puedo lograr, cómo lo puedo hacer, cómo cuido a mi mamá y también a mi bebé. Solo tengo que josear y eso ya me lo sé. Hay días que despierto sin ánimo, pero me tengo que motivar, que nadie te va a ayudar, que no lo vaya a lograr. Eso dicen los demás, pa'l carajo los demás, que aquí pues se les va a enseñar. Aquí les caigo y les traigo un talento que lo dejan bien pálido. Se sorprendieron, algunos dijeron que estos son pa' los que sí tienen talento. De verdad, se jodió todo porque yo nunca voy a parar de josear. Ya, pero un día, ojalá yo con ganar doble A. Dile a Mike Taver que me tire para hacer un collab. Sin pijama, Nati, que me invite a la casa. Ojalá. Ja. Te era algo para sentirme fiebre. El meme. Ahora dejo que el divino Vega que lo parta. Vega.
From the past to the present to the future, been fucking the game up, different angles, Kama Sutra. From handguns to machine guns, flamethrowers to bazookas, goes down in these streets to inside your computer. Your streets made of tears, Reese's fans like Medusa. Y'all crying in the comment section, shout out Brett Cooper. We're champions, you're cheaters, we're winners, you're losers. When I take off, I'm gone, if you don't keep up, I'll lose ya. I've been contemplating and changing my name to Il Divino. What is that? Italiano, Latino, Boston born, Chicago raised. My roots are in Puerto Rico, y la Boricua, I'm the last cacique de los taínos. I transcended from Rex to Regal. Say it's my ego, see how fast you get introduced to my desert eagle. See, nice as Galito, but I know my rights, I'm keeping it legal. Once you level up, gotta watch how they treat you. Fauci, ouchie, I'm afraid I don't need it, but don't lie if you a man of the people. See, I can allow you to see me, but I am not seated, transparent and honest for you to know that I speak truth, will others be deceitful. A bunch of these clucks now remind me of Smeagol. Whenever your vice can lead you to evil, no cap, I am no saint, but I will not deceive you, never mislead you. Don't ever get it twisted though, I do not need you. See, like Batman, I work best alone. I stayed loaded like Rambo, Sylvester Stallone. It's nothing when I'm gone, man, easy phone home. It's just like Jay-Z and Kanye, return of the throne. It's the rise of the empire, attacking the clones. While everyone's sheep now, I am the goat. I believe in myself now, if nobody won't. There's no need to lie, cause I know that you don't. I just hope you got my rise of the empire, attacking the clones line. You know, as the empire rises, we're witnessing the fall of the republic. Everybody that just follows suit is a bunch of sheep, just like the clones doing what they told. Just know who Palpatine is though, you know? Shout out Joey B. From Chicago to Boston, Midwest to the East Coast, and this island in the Caribbean known as Puerto Rico is why the bars are lethal. Got me going beast mode in this game called life. You better know some cheat codes. Il Divino's back, someone let the streets know. 6 shots for the folks and 5 shots for my peoples. I think it's high time we all have a sit down. Can we all agree the game is gone to shit now? Like the fall of Rome, the death of Romulus, history repeating itself if you know it's obvious. If you had your head inside of a book instead of binoculars, you'd be able to see without a pair of binoculars. Our tax dollars being spent towards the damned omnibus, where the rich stay rich, commoners remain commoners. The tentacles and everything like a damn octopus. Mass media, mass hysteria, how they control the populace. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed, in God we trust. Yeah, everyone lives in fear around me, the truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed, in God we trust. Yeah, everyone lives in fear around me, the truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk. Living in this shy, can't let them catch me snoozing. Dudes be shooting just for the amusement. I refuse to be a victim, never be a loosen. When your city is a war zone, who gives a fuck about Putin? And there ain't nothing safe about the safety act. There's more safety in being strapped. They should choose you, shoot back. Those odds are better than getting caught laying on your back. Don't believe me, check the stats, I'm just bringing you the facts. With my hand on the Bible, I swear to rap the truth. By mighty God, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. My people perish for lack of knowledge. My knowledge I share with you. There's nothing we can't accomplish. One head ain't better than two. That's the purpose of a democratic republic. Discussion on every subject, in truth, logic, and reason, till we reach an agreement. A nation under God is how the states united. Got out of the picture, look how gradually we divided. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed, in God we trust. Yeah, everyone lives in fear around me, the truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk. Cash rules everything around me, and on every dollar bill it's printed, in God we trust. Yeah, everyone lives in fear around me, the truth will set you free. Quick shout out to Elon Musk.
Arrogance is the primary ingredient that will make you assume you can take action without God. Arrogance. That's actually what it is. You think you got this, and you